Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is time for Let's Get Physical Media. I haven't tried to sing that in a long time, and still, as evidenced by what I just did, I still can't sing it. Your Pharaoh Physical Media, Robert Meyer, Burnett here, and I'm coming at you with Let's Get Physical Media episode, I don't know, 176? 176 Sundays you've spent with us? And when I say us, you know who I'm talking about. Look, man, you don't come to see me. There's so many. You should be sick of me after the last couple days. I mean, done with me for at least a week. But I'm here to wipe that clean your palate. Clean your palate. That's what I was going to say. Your favorite German. You know who I bring you every week. Your favorite German, my favorite German, the world's most favorite German, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland, Mr. Dieter Bastian.
And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Dieter here I'm Rocky Like a Hurricane, and welcome to the B&B Motel for the Let's Get Physical Media Hangout. And Rob, the question is, how are you feeling after that mammoth session? Because I had a feeling, Rob, so this is what Rob is talking about, the Burnettwork being online 24 hours around the clock. You're taking a nap on the couch, it's still on. You're waking up in the morning, it's still on, you know. So this is how the Burnettwork, your dream should be.
Well, I should say that hopefully I won't be on it. It could be 24/7,
yep.
You know, like the great news networks of yore, but hopefully other people would be able to carry that burden, carry the load, walk those, water buckets up the mountainside if that's what they needed to do. No, it was, look, to be honest, I was dreading it. I was trying to overthink it. And it was fun. Look, I wanted to get people, like we have member calls, so I know all the members, all the people that support the channel. I ended up getting almost 100 people who wanted to be on. But I wanted to give everybody 20 minutes, and I realized, so I tried to get to people, for the most part, that hadn't been on the channel before. And there was just no way I could get to everybody. And then answering all the emails and keeping everything straight. But it was interesting. I got to meet a lot of people. I mean, of course, our favorite Major Chai Chai was on. But it was good. It was good to see a lot of new people. And I thought for the most part it went off. I mean, I know there's some people that didn't have as much fun as I was having, but it went by, the first 8 hours especially, I felt like I was streaming for 2 hours. It went by so, I thought it was really quick, and I thought it was really interesting, and I really had a great time. And meeting a lot of people that, I recognized their names and I had never, that I'd never met. So I thought that it was in that sense, it was successful. I have 2 interviews that I didn't get to play. I played, of course, the interview with my friend Kelly Goto, who is a very impressive individual. And then I put that interview up separately. So if you didn't catch it live, it's a really interesting interview to see, I think. And what's really interesting about Kelly is she's written a book about her father called Seattle Samurai. And it's about her father and her father's life and him being a cartoonist. And it has a lot to do with the plight, or not plight, but the experience of immigrants. And I thought that was really cool. And it's relevant to this particular episode of Let's Get Physical Media because, as we know, we are celebrating the 70th anniversary of what? The 7 Samurai. So samurais are in the air. Caustic Plastic is making a beautiful 6-scale version of Toshiro Mifune, Toranaga's song, if you're a fan of the first Shogun, and if you're a fan of everything from, all of Kurosawa's movies. So that's coming out. So Samurai and 7 Samurai and Japan is in the air and everywhere, as Steve Sansweet used to say about Star Wars. So that was cool. So you can watch that now, but I have 2 other interviews with 2 of my favorite Star Trek writers that were just too long. Yeah. And one I did like 6 years ago, and I was going to do interviews with a bunch more people, but I just figured make it about viewers, and have the viewers come on and let's see who they are. And I thought it was fun. And then we turned it into a midnight metal show at 10 o'clock. and Dave Parker came on, and then we had a bunch more people, and I think we had a really great discussion.
Hot discussion, yeah.
It was a really good
killing
discussion.
Killing or not killing.
Killing and not killing. It was a great discussion about superheroes, a great discussion that I'm going to clip out, and I'll make its own video so you don't have to wade through everything. And there was a lot of people, again, who came on the show during that discussion that I had never met before. So it was quite the show. I thought so. It was fun.
And Rob, perhaps I missed it, considering how long the show was. Did you get a release schedule out for True Noir? What are your plans?
Okay, here's the plan for True Noir. We talked about we're going to release the first act, which is episodes 1, 2, and 3, which is about going to be like 80 minutes long. So it's the first 3 episodes, which is the Nitty Raid, Visiting Hours, and Merry Christmas, Mr. Heller. So those 3 episodes are going to be released as Act 1. And hopefully we're going to get those 3 episodes sent to Kickstarter supporters and reviewers at the end of this coming week. And then the episodes will be dropped, Act 1, we're calling it Act 1, will be dropped on December 13th. Friday, December 13th, just in time for the commute. And we're going to let people, all of those episodes take place before Christmas in universe. So it's going to be fun to have those to play. And then starting in January, on January 10th, we're going to release each episode weekly for the rest of the series. But we're going to be able to hopefully gin up some interest, get the show reviewed so people can listen to it and get some eyes on it or ears on it, as it were, and let people listen to the audio drama and then have it come out. And it'll play through January and February every Friday. And there's 10 episodes for a total of about 7 hours. And, I'm so damn proud of this show, and I'm so damn proud of all the actors and everybody and my partners and everybody that worked on it. I think it turned out to be quite good. But you know what? That's not up for me to decide. That's up to the audience to decide. So it's all about you, as ever. So we'll see.
So the first 3 are a little bit of a taste for it.
It's a taste. Well, it truly is the way Max Allan Collins so expertly weaved the tale and expertly weaved, adapted his novel, was that he broke his novel into, even though it's 10 chapters, it's pretty solidly a 3-act structure, like a screenplay. So if you had a 2-hour screenplay, there's Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. Max did that with this whole book adaptation. So the first 3 episodes is Act 1. And it leaves our main character in a specific place. And then his journey really begins in Act 2, where he's sort of now a full-fledged private eye. And episodes 4, 5, 6, and 7 are the plot. And then 8, 9, and 10 are the shattering climax, where our character learns how dark the world can be, so to speak. But yeah.
And the last thing, Rob, on your Mammoth show, you didn't remember the title of the show, but I have seen it, Rob. And the show was called A Man on the Inside.
A Man on the... Now, what did you think? This is the new Ted Danson streaming series that was created by the creator of The Good Place and Brooklyn 999. They teamed up to create this show. I've watched now the first 2 episodes. I thought it was delightful. What did you think?
I really thought it was fine. I was not getting into it immediately because I was expecting a little bit more like Only Murders in the Building, that each episode would end on a little bit of a cliffhanger. He would detect something that would propel you into the next episode.
I can understand that.
But they were really more focused on, the residents there. But the last episode, Rob, really got me into it. They really stuck the landing with the last episode of A Man on the Inside, where I got teared up a little. And like you said, it's a mixture of Good Place and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. When you see who is in the show, you will recognize a lot of familiar faces. So I really had a good time, but it wasn't really. It was really the last episode where I said, Nicely done. Nicely done. It would be nice to get a second season, but you don't need one. The case is closed at the end, Rob.
Well, but each season, because it's a mystery, it lends itself well to a new season. But I was really, seeing Susan Rattan from L.A. Law in the show. She was one of the residents. And Sally Struthers from All in the Family. I thought she's not just helping kids in Africa anymore. She's back on a TV show, like as playing the horny blonde, chasing after Ted Danson. I of course I love Ted Danson. So watching him, I thought it was I thought it was a delightful, at least what I've seen of it, the first 2 episodes. I
just a cool concept.
I had to go back in and rewire some of the movie room because when we had puppies, they bit through some of my surround speaker wires. There was a little damage. The Xbox plug is chewed through entirely, and there's some things. So Elizabeth's folks wanted to watch Gladiator, and I'm like, I can't show you Gladiator without the surround speakers working. So I went back in. So I spent a lot of time. So I'm still doing some tweaks. I don't know why the subwoofer is not. Unfortunately, the low frequencies work on my tall speakers, but something's up with the subwoofer. I don't know if I blew the subwoofer. I don't think you can blow it, but something's up. Anyway, Check. These are the kind of problems we have on this show. When your home theater system is not in optimal working condition, then it's, it becomes a burden on your life. Like, what do you do?
Yeah. Because after I've seen Twisters, and I told you I was pretty disappointing considering the audio mix, I did a new checkup, just to see if it's everything is fine. But
was it you?
It was. Everything was fine.
Yeah.
With the system. So there was nothing wrong. And speaking of not showing Gladiator, Rob, I heard there are some records broken over the Thanksgiving.
Well, Dietz, as everyone knows, Dietz always asks me, how is the domestic and international box office going? Would you believe that this weekend, this 5-day weekend over the Thanksgiving weekend, was the biggest Thanksgiving weekend in history?
Ooh.
In history, ladies and gentlemen, gentle beings, kind souls, however you identify across the 28 known galaxies, let it be known that this was the biggest box office weekend in all of Thanksgiving history. Listen to this. This is domestic. The domestic box office has, now remember, these aren't actuals yet. This is just projected. $420 million. $420 million.
For the movies combined.
Domestic, combined for everything. Yeah. Now, that blows away the first record by $100,000. By $100 million that was set back in 2018 when I think Wreck-It Ralph 2 opened.
Yeah.
And so we had 3 movies. We had Moana 2, which made over $200 million domestic.
Ooh.
We have Gladiator 2, and we have Wicked burning up the charts. So here's what we got from Intelligence, says that 46 million turkeys were eaten over the holiday, while 30 million people saw the top 3 movies. 30 million people went to the movie theaters. And for us, for all you movie lovers out there, those kids with their social media, their TikToks.
Yeah.
I could go back and go with their MySpace and Snapchat. No, I mean they know.
Shout at the clouds.
They Snapchat, damn you. No, but they've put down the narcotic that is their social media, their phones, and apparently everybody went to the movies, which is great. I mean, it's great to see when people are excited. And I've always said, people talked about getting glicked, Gladiator and Wicked. If that was a phenomenon, it's not like Barbenheimer was 2 years ago. But seriously, you have 3 movies. When people go to the movies, it's like doing cocaine. When you do one line, it makes you feel better, so you want to do another. And I've always liked, not that I would know, but I've always liked to believe that when people go to the movie theaters and they have a great experience in those movie houses, when the lights come down and the magic happens, you want to recreate that experience. And, I would say that what a wildly diverse slate of films.
Yeah.
You've got 2 family-friendly movies in Moana 2. I mean, obviously, Moana is one of the most beloved Disney animated films of recent years. Wicked, of course, having the incredible a cast that it has. And as I said, when I first saw clips at CinemaCon in Vegas 2 years ago, even the behind the scenes of the first preliminary, I mean, they've been shooting for a couple weeks or whatever. It was amazing. So it's no surprise that John Cho and such a handsomely mounted production like Wicked is making a shit ton of money. And of course, Gladiator 2, I was entertained. It's very, the opinion is very divisive. People are either loving it or hating it, which, hey, I can understand. I've been somebody that people have either loved or hated for my entire life. So I understand what it's like to be a movie like Gladiator 2. But no, I think that it's really, really cool. So, you know, our friend Anthony D'Alessandro, this comes to us from Box Office, comes to us from Deadline about the box office. Yeah. So this is on Deadline today. And this is what he writes. What's clear in the current post-COVID marketplace is that while there is no floor to when a movie bombs, there's also no ceiling when movies connect. And that's what we had here in Moana 2, Wicked, and Gladiator 2 over the Wednesday to Sunday holiday. And our friend Adam Aaron from AMC Theaters says that this weekend is a national phenomenon when it comes to moviegoing. That Wednesday through Sunday tally for all movies breaks the previous Thanksgiving record for all titles from 2018 when Ralph Breaks the Internet drove the marketplace to 315.6 million total. Moana 2 is setting a 5-day opening and Thanksgiving record, 221 million, and that is domestic.
Yeah.
Wicked became the highest grossing movie based on a Broadway musical, and it will have the third best 5-day take at 117.5 million over Thanksgiving, while Paramount's adult moviegoer destination Gladiator 2 is seeing 44 million. So what's quite clear is that counter-programming of tentpoles works in a given weekend and should not be avoided. When tentpoles are all of great quality, all boats rise. And here we have 3 movies with very good Rotten Tomatoes audience scores. Wicked has a 96% audience score. Moana has an 87% audience score. And of course, what I was just reading disappeared. Hang on, let me get back to it. And even Gladiator, which, you know, I just said has been a little divisive as far as the audience goes. Gladiator has a very high, an 83% Rotten Tomatoes score. And so the people that don't like, I mean, dude, Thomas Logan said that Gladiator 2 is worse than Highlander 2. I'm like, no, Thomas, come on now. That's hyperbole. But everyone is entitled to their own opinion on this YouTube channel. So there you go. And it's a great result, and it's great for movie going. And I think that, how can you complain when it shows that Hollywood, look, if the movies are what people want to see, they'll go. I just wish, my only regret, if I had any, I've had regrets. I've had a few. These are what the studios do best. Sequels, event pictures like Wicked. It would be nice to see, I would love to have seen a mid-range adult drama in there. Like maybe from 87's Fatal Attraction, if we had a zeitgeist movie that wasn't necessarily an event picture but caught fire with audiences. There aren't any pictures like that, so it's not like there was one that no one went to see. I just wish that we could get back to seeing some mid-range adult fare, whether it's a movie like my beloved The Verdict with Paul Newman. Those movies will now be 10-episode streaming shows, which is okay. It's okay. But hey, movies are healthy. That means, just when I thought I was out in terms of physical media, they pull me back in. There's going to be stuff to buy.
Before we started the show, Rob, this afternoon, I finally got around watching the Blair Witch Project. I haven't seen it probably since the DVD days. And it's really nice package. And it really looks like it should, considering the high 8 material.
Yeah, well, they did the restoration. It's like the disc of the year.
Yeah. And even, I think they did a great job even adding the 35 millimeter print on it as a version 2. So you can immediately see the differences. And we know we can exchange this because the theatrical version is missing the stereo track. But for me, Rob, this movie would work in mono totally fine, So I will certainly keep the discs. And after now 25 years, I think it's still grandfather of found footage because, like I said, Rob, one of my axioms, if you're doing a found footage movie, you can't use actors that I know. You have to know.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
You have to use unknown actors that I have not seen anywhere else. And that it really, Rob, it has verisimilitude. The people that are interviewed, they all feel like real people. Like you always said, the people in movies are too good looking, But here, you have really verisimilitude considering the people that they interview for the Blair Witch. And it's really nice that actually the movie has 0 jump scares in it, It's all about the mood and stuff. And I think it still holds up. It's not as creepy as it was back then, but it's still a good springboard for other stuff that came after the Blair Witch Project. Well, it really looks nice.
You make a good point in the sense that a jump scare is a cinematic affectation, whereas the Blair Witch Project is trying to create. I mean, it's got peak verisimilitude, incredible atmosphere, and again, we've talked about it on the show before. But what was really interesting about the Blair Witch, the Blair Witch and another movie that I've talked about before, Convergence. Is it Convergence? Coherence. Pardon me. Coherence. I always get. I don't know why I can't in my head. Coherence, Convergence, but in Coherence they kind of did the same thing. In Coherence, they would tell the actors, "Okay, this group, you guys are trying to get into this house. You're trying to convince them to let you in, no matter what happens." And then they would tell people inside the house, on the other side of the door, "No, under no circumstances are you to let them in the house." And then they would roll the cameras. There wasn't even a finished script. They had like an outline, and it worked. When you have great actors, it's almost like an improv exercise. But in the case of Blair Witch, it was kind of the same thing. They had a scenario, and then the filmmakers were throwing things at the actors, and they were responding, and they were out in the woods. So it's like the ultimate improv exercise, and they were able to really pull it off. And so it's really exciting.
They go up from happy campers to lost campers to frustrated campers,
Yes.
Losing their mind campers.
Losing their mind, and it's great. Now, there's a couple of things I want to talk about at the front of this show.
Yeah.
So the rumored, it's funny, this rumor it's not that it came out of nowhere, but the rumor did drop that obviously Paramount has said it's pretty much it's open season on their catalog. If you would like to put a Paramount film out on physical media, if you're a boutique label, you can. Well, one of the big Black Friday announcements that came from one of our beloved boutique labels was from Vinegar Syndrome. And they announced they dropped Michael Mann's The Keep. Now, if you wait, I didn't blow this up. I apologize. I took this. This was a late edition. Let me blow this up, and so you can now. This is deets. This is what's crazy about this, right? They had 12,000. This is a limited edition slipcase version. This went online Thursday, I think, maybe Friday.
I think so.
Look at the top right of the screen. Sold out. They're putting now. There is a standard edition. Now here's the thing about The Keep. The great thing that, first of all, kudos to you guys, Vinegar Syndrome. Nicely done. You know that I've been a big supporter of Vinegar Syndrome since they put my beloved Liquid Sky out. But where's the 4K, chaps? Come on, let's get that 4K. Other companies, I think, I don't know if it was Turbine. I think somebody in Germany put out a 4K of Liquid Sky. I'm not sure. Or it's coming out, maybe.
Sure.
Maybe they couldn't, don't know. But they put it out. And Vinegar Syndrome also put out my beloved Body Melt. great Australian Ozploitation horror from the 80s. First movie I made Elizabeth watch, and I was watching a terrible VHS dupe that was on DVD. We watched that, and she's like, who is this person that I'm dating now? And kudos to Elizabeth for watching it, but that's what Vinegar Syndrome does. They put out The Keep. It's a great package. Unfortunately, I did not pre-order this version. I didn't get to it. I was too busy doing my show. But you know what?
Yeah.
I've had various bootlegs of The Keep. I still have my Keep laser disc. But and for those people who haven't had it, kudos to you. As you know, back around 2014, I went to a screening of To Live and Die in L.A. and Thief. Michael Mann spoke before Thief, and I raised my hands, and I asked him about The Keep, and he is not a fan of this movie, even though he directed it. He said, it wasn't what I wanted, and I'm never going to go back in and do a director's cut because Roy Arbogast, who did the physical effects, is no longer alive, and he was not interested in it. So he thinks this is a compromise work. It's not his vision, which I understand. I've always liked the movie. It has a Tangerine Dream score. It's very atmospheric. I mean, Ian McKellen's in this movie. Scott Glenn is in this movie. Jürgen Prochnow is in this movie. It casts a spell. I think it's got a great creature in it. And it's based on a really cool book. So I'm going to buy it's okay that, maybe I'll break down and get it on the secondary market and pay double what it costs. Whatever, who knows? But the standard edition is still available.
Perhaps they do a reprint, Rob. Could be.
They might, because the demand. I think it's great that a boutique label was able to get this kind of feedback and get this 12,000 copies.
Yeah.
We're always wondering how does a boutique label make any money? But they did a great job. So you go, Vinegar Syndrome. A good score, knowing what the audience wants. The Keep hasn't been available. It's never been available on Blu-ray, much less 4K. Now you're going to get a beautiful. I watched the trailer for it. The transfer looks spectacular, and why wouldn't it be? So good on you, Vinegar Syndrome, and well done for selling out in a couple of days. Your investment in the title paid off for you. And now the next big...
because you mentioned Liquid Sky, that gives me a nice segue into this title that you already showed that I finally got, Rob. 1982.
Did you watch it?
Ever. Of course, Rob. Really nice one. And for me, the best part was actually at the ending, which movie won the Oscar 1982, Nobody remembered
Gandhi.
That Gandhi won 1982 because of all the great geek movies that came out.
Hey, did you notice, did you see anybody you recognize in that documentary?
Yeah, I think you were in it too, Rob.
Was I?
Yeah,
in that documentary?
Exactly. So I finally got mine, and it comes with the poster and some bonus features, deleted scenes.
The poster's really cool.
Yeah, totally. And I totally agree, Rob. This was my starting year, too, I would say.
Yeah.
1982.
Well, of course, now all can be revealed. Another thing, first of all, I would like to offer a tremendous apology to my very good friend and partner in crime, Mr. Bill Hunt, he of thedigitalbits.com.
Yeah.
Because Lisa Stevenson, first of all, we have a new, the first couple of physical media. I'm anointing the first couple of physical media is Lionsgate's Lisa Stevenson and her high school sweetheart and now husband, Cliff Stevenson. Cliff Stevenson and Lisa Stevenson are the first couple of physical media. Come at me, bro. I am bequeathing them the title today, and it can never be stripped from them. Cliff, of course, has just finished. He's been shooting special features on Anton Fuqua's Michael Jackson biopic. So I'm sure it's going to be his magnum opus in terms of his own documentaries. He's done such great documentary work in the past. He's a Saturn Award winner. But he's been on the show. But Lisa Stevenson, his wife, is an executive at Lionsgate that keeps him working, which is great. But she's also the impresario. If they're the first couple, I guess that makes Lisa Stevenson the president. I don't know. Call it. We'll stay first couple. We'll let them.
First lady.
The first lady. She's the first lady of physical media. The new Lionsgate website is now live. And that is, of course, Lionsgate Limited. And welcome to Lionsgate Limited and their first 2 titles. So what Lionsgate Limited is it's the Lionsgate, it's their new website, kind of inspired by what A24 is doing with the lack of retail space and things like that. Lionsgate has grabbed the bull by the balls, as they said in the Breakfast Club. And they're going to start selling direct to the consumer. They're going to offer all kinds of things on their website that are exclusive. As Lisa said, I think the website's going to be selling exclusive covers of Kill Bill 1 and 2 that you can only get on their website. And a lot of places, like, of course, we know Umbrella, for instance, if you go to their website, they'll have 500 copies of, like, Lord of Illusion that you can only get on their website. Well, Lionsgate is doing the same thing. And, of course, they're featuring, obviously, Apocalypse Now and The Conversation on the cover, on their cover page. And they're offering both these, The Conversation. They're actually putting out exactly what Studio Canal put out before, a reproduction, and it's cheaper. Well, I know it's still, it's $79.99. It'd be cheaper to buy from them domestically anyway, but this is what that, look, I have this package. I've shown it on this show. It's absolutely spectacular. It's so witty. Even the new artwork is cool. I mean, it comes with a cassette tape. The discs look like reel to reel. Whoever came up with this whole thing, kudos to the entire design team. They did a fantastic job. This is a fantastic movie. It's a fantastic box set. It's a fantastic transfer. And now you can go to Lionsgate Limited and pre-order it. And you can also pre-order the Apocalypse Now. They're putting out a new 6-disc steelbook of this box set. They're doing a whole limited edition of Apocalypse Now, a reprint of it. The discs are spectacular. You have all 3 versions of the movie. You have Hearts of Darkness, all kinds of amazing things. I don't know if the new 4K version of Hearts of Darkness is a part of that. Maybe it is. I don't know. Don't quote me. But it's amazing. And look, if we can't be at all self-serving on this show, go figure.
Someone wrote an article.
I would like to say that, yes, Lionsgate, the first lady of physical media, Lisa Stevenson, she tapped me to write a few articles for the website, and which I did. And the first of those articles is Apocalypse Then and Now. It's by me. You can go to the website and read it. And I mean, look at that. How cool. I've got my byline with Big Bad Dennis Hopper talking to Martin Sheen. I also wrote an article. And you know what's funny? Apocalypse Now is one of my favorite movies, and I never got to write about it before for anything. So that was fun. And so thank you, Lisa. I also did write a piece on The Conversation, and I also delivered pieces on Kill Bill 1 and 2 that I would presume are going to be up on the website there. So, hey, if you want to read a little bit, I really haven't written movie reviews since I wrote for Sci-Fi Universe back in the mid-90s. So it's nice to get back into the swing of things.
But I think it's a little bit more than just a review.
Yeah, I mean, I try it because, I don't, it's not a straight review.
That's what we consider just a review of the movie.
Yeah, I basically wrote about how I feel about these movies in terms of cinema history and what they mean, that's why I called it Apocalypse Then and Now, what it meant when it came out and what it means now. And I tried to, and look, they only wanted me to write 3 or 4 paragraphs. So it's certainly not my PhD dissertation or anything like that, but I'm proud of the work, and it was really fun. And I want to thank Lisa for giving me an opportunity to sit down and write again, just to write about movies. I mean, I'll get better as I go. I'm a little rusty, but it was fun. So, and I really think that there's going to be an opportunity. I mean, Lionsgate is the first studio that's really going to jump headfirst, and I think they're going to make this website not just a place. I mean, clearly the idea of having me, I'm sure they're going to have other people write things about their movies, and Lionsgate has a really deep catalog of cool stuff. So go to their website, lionsgatelimited.com. But I want to apologize to Bill Hunt because he was supposed to drop the news exclusively. And I didn't really realize that. And Lisa goes, the website's live, and I was like, oh, and again, because can be a selfish prick, and I'm like, go read my stuff. Yeah. I started saying that the website was live, and I apologize for bogarting Bill's exclusive. So please accept my deepest apologies, Bill. I didn't realize that. And if I did, I certainly wouldn't have jumped the gun. I just, thought it was cool that, hey, go read something. It's all about self-promotion.
That's what you get from your bean maker, Rob. You spilled the beans.
That's right. And, let's go back to what my father called me as a young whippersnapper in Indian Guides. Yeah. My Indian Guide's name was, in fact, Chief Running Mouth. And now we have a great opportunity to have social media. You can run your mouth 24/7 on a global scale. And I will certainly avail myself of doing that at every opportunity, especially to promote my, be that as it may. Promote my own. Exactly. What do you want to call it? So, but anyway, it's a really cool thing that Lionsgate's doing. I hope to see more studios do this because I think Lionsgate has always been a great studio when it comes to their physical media releases. Obviously, they've been releasing the Coppola stuff. They've done some great stuff teaming up with Coppola, the same way that Shout Factory has teamed up now with Oliver Stone. And I really like to see what they're doing. I think they're going to prepare something interesting for Megalopolis. Of course, Dieter, Lionsgate, your de facto home destination, because Tim Palin, who used to work at Lionsgate, director of marketing, you have how much is Tim Palin's book worth on the Hunger Games?
Don't get started on that, Rob.
How much is that worth? Huh? And how much you pay for that?
Put it up again, Rob.
How's that Arcane Steelbook, buddy?
Next week, Rob. Perhaps next week. But I finished Arcane, Rob. I finished Arcane last Sunday, because Saturday we had a show. So I finished Arcane last Sunday. And for me, totally great. The second season. Yes.
I've only watched the first 2 episodes of that as well. I just been so busy.
Yeah. But what are you saying, Rob? Insane, The animation is insane for me.
It's great. The animation's incredible. It's really, really good.
Unbelievable. Because you think everything goes, Everything goes. You can use every style, can be combined here.
Yes.
Totally awesome. So for me, they totally stuck the landing. It was a little bit confusing considering everything, but there are always more intelligent people on the internet, on YouTube, who can dissect stuff for me at the end. But I had a really nice final epic conclusion. I will hope perhaps we'll get something more later. So Netflix give Fortiche 200 million instead of another Red Notice. What can I say? No. But I really had a great time, and I will hope that we get the second season on physical media too, as we did get with the first one. So, Rob, we did have some super chats coming in.
We have lots of super chats coming in. Okay. Let's see. First of all, okay, this is some more news. We have a new name in the Let's Get Physical Media family, Cult Cinema 83. Now, I have to say, this makes me sad. I'm just going to say it makes me sad. Do you know why? Because Cult Cinema 83 is a new name. We have new branding for our old friend all the way from Holland, Undead Sick. Oh, Undead Sick has abandoned the name Undead Sick, and he is now Cult Cinema 83.
Okay. Nice to know. Nice to know that, bro.
But now, again, because I'm self-serving, his first super chat, he's telling us that he's abandoned the name. He says this, it's like the Mysterons in Captain Scarlet. This is Undead Sick speaking through a new name. And then he goes on to say, and I'll thank him in advance, he says, great job defending realism in comic book movies against the naive dream state fantasy Dave Parker was talking about, Rob.
It was a heavy discussion, Rob.
Well, first of all, you know what? I'm going to when I clip out the conversation and put it up as a separate video, I'm going to say Dave Parker's naive dreamscape fantasy. Naive dreamscape superhero fantasy. The fake hope he was talking about is a myth, and that idealism is a quote-unquote psychedelic fart. A psychedelic fart. You know, wouldn't it be great if you could all if you had to smell other people's farts, it put you into a psychedelic trance, and it'd be like doing mushrooms, but different? A psychedelic fart. I've never heard that before. I'm going to give it up to you, Undead Sick, a.k.a. Cult Cinema 83. But now the story must be told. Why did you decide to give up the name Undead Sick? I loved Undead Sick.
Yeah. The name has changed, but the person is the same.
That's right. You've rebranded yourself. You've rebranded yourself. So kudos to you, Undead Sick. And now, I guess, do we call Undead Sick, dare I say it, a dead name? I don't know. Did I just get in trouble with half the internet? I hope not. So we're now at Cult Cinema.
It won't be the first time.
And it certainly won't be the last.
Won't be the last. You're quite used to it.
Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'll let those decide. Adventure Square.
You're still the heel from the Schmodown. You're still the heel, Rob.
It's true. It's true. Adventure Square says some great physical media news. Kino Lorber has a new YouTube show called Shelf Space, where they discuss their releases and have interviews with the curators. Yeah, the head of their acquisitions department talks. I've been watching it. I think they need a little bit better production value, but that Kino Lorber is the unofficial, if not official, sponsor of this channel. I love Kino Lorber. We have more Kino Lorber news coming out. They got some more bangers. I mean, it seems like not only does every week Kino Lorber release something great, they also announce something that I want. So Kino Lorber has been killing it. Again, they've been raiding the Paramount library and putting out banger after banger in 4K. I mean, not only did they give us The Hunted, multiple William Friedkin titles, but we got The Hunted and Bug, which is not even from Paramount, same studio. It's amazing. So Kino Lorber's killing it. Their show, despite the production values, which they should up their game, really interesting show. A lot of interesting guests. They had Bill Lustig of Blue Underground on. And so I would encourage everybody to tune in and watch that show. It's really, really cool. So Adventure Square, thanks for bringing that up. Our old friend and moderator, Justin Toner, is here and Justin says, hi guys, I jumped on Black Friday deals on Amazon and I got a haul of 4Ks, The Batman, Gladiator, Wolf of Wall Street, The Dark Knight Trilogy, Godzilla, Kong, New Empire, and I got the Keep 4K before it sold out. You go, Justin.
Lucky you, Justin.
Good for you. That's a good thing. Good for you. Which is awesome. Great haul, by the way. All those discs are really respectable. They look great. I mean, the Wolf of Wall Street, it's not a pop, but it's a great disc. And of course, the Dark Knight Trilogy, Godzilla New Empire, all look great on disc. Paul Allen Bernotto, our old friend Paul Allen, says, I pre-ordered my 4K copy of The Keep, which I texted you about a few days ago. Plus, I got Heartbreakers, one of our faves from the 80s, for $9. That's, of course, Heartbreakers is a Fun City Edition title that is a partner label of Vinegar Syndrome. I really like that movie. It's funny, I showed that movie to Elizabeth. I said, look, I got this movie. I remember loving it in the 80s. And when it was over, she's like, I'm not sure I don't know what that movie's about. And I'm like, I just told her it's about dudes. It's an impenetrable movie about dudes, I guess. It's made by a dude for other dudes. And Bobby Roth, who directed Heartbreakers, is a dude. And I enjoyed it. There's some deleted scenes. I thought Fun City Edition did a great job with that title. I was really happy to get it, and that's why don't sleep on Vinegar Syndrome's partner labels. When you go to their website, it's a great website, and they have a list. You can go to the partner labels section, and they're putting out, they team up with Deaf Crocodile. They do a good job. So they put out some cool shit. Don't forget to check it out.
And Paul got it for a Schnäppchen.
He got it for a Schnäppchen, $9. That will not break your heart. Secular Monk says, Rob, can you see about Lionsgate releasing an individual release of The Conversation without all of the art cards, tapes, and etc.? I just want the movie. Come on, Secular Monk. How is that's no fun. It's a piece de art. You know, it's like the monolith in 2001. That box, you can put it in your collection and just sit there and worship it and walk up to the box like the apes and barely touch it. I don't know. I wouldn't do that, but you could if you wanted to. But you don't because you want just the movie version. I would imagine that Lionsgate will be releasing a no frills vanilla edition of The Conversation.
Perhaps a little later down the line.
Yeah, but the box is. I mean, I bought it because it was really cool. Yeah. I mean, and again, all I care about ultimately, it just matters about the movie and the transfer. The transfer and the movie are spectacular. So I can ask. I will ask Lisa. You know what? I could probably just, I'll text her right now. But I would say this. Now with Lionsgate going direct to consumer, why not go and support them? And if you love The Conversation, just jump in with both feet. Maybe get somebody to buy it for you for Christmas. Support Lionsgate's efforts.
Yep.
And we got Steve Cantino. I think I probably got that wrong, but I hope I didn't. Steve says, happy holidays, fellas. Hello, Dieter. Hope you had a nice one.
Hello.
Well, you don't celebrate Thanksgiving in Germany.
Had a holiday here.
Are you thankful for anything? Does Germany have a thankful holiday? Do you have is there an equivalent to that in Germany?
Let me think, Rob. A thankful holiday.
Yeah, something you're thankful about, Yeah.
Being on the show here,
Don't butter me up. Come on, that's not national. Although if you'd like to make a national holiday about this show and we'll promote it in Germany, we should go to one of those great Berlin sex clubs and we'll give out flyers. My friend Adrian Ascari is always talking about this one club that's 4 stories and you can go in Friday and come out on a Monday and you don't know what happened. I'm like, hey, buddy.
Got that over the weekend, Rob.
Yeah, no judgment here. Although I was all by myself, I would imagine going to one of those clubs in Germany is more fun than sitting in my observatory. Although, it's not so bad. It's not the same kind of toys, but I like sitting in a room surrounded by all my toys and physical media. Yeah. It gives me solace, maybe a quantum of solace. Terrible.
And we are defenders of that one. So.
We are defenders of that one. I am a quantum of solace apologist.
Yeah.
Unlike Scott Mantz, who is certainly not a quantum of solace apologist. And that's okay. To each his own.
Yeah. So we are caught up?
We're caught up, buddy. Maybe we should show some physical media.
Exactly.
Would you like to see some physical media, people?
Why are you tuning in here? Like I said, it's a hangout.
It's not just our scintillating personalities. You go ahead. I mean, Germans first, except when it comes to the Rhineland.
I think you showed this, Rob, and I remember even seeing that in theaters back in the day. I got Youngblood.
Yes, I did get that.
Yeah, with
little Swayze action.
Swayze, Rob Lowe, but haven't seen it in ages. So really looking forward to revisit that movie again. Rob, the next one you showed already, and I thought, perhaps he has a good movie in him still, but unfortunately wasn't too thrilled with the 2:30 movie from Kevin Smith.
Yeah, I got that too from Lionsgate, by the way. Lionsgate.
Exactly. And the package is really way better for me than the movie.
Yeah.
Because, Rob, have you seen it, Rob?
No.
We can do that movie too, Rob. With all the movie knowledge that we have here, we do a movie back in the 80s, and then we always say, the opposite thing, Deadpool and Wolverine will never play together in a movie, and that joke we use over and over and over again. So I had some good laughs, but the laughs didn't came out of the main part of the story. The laughs from me came out from fake trailers, from a wrestling clip, But for me, unfortunately, it's a little bit too in its own universe, It's of course it's a little bit, it's autobiographical, but for me, unfortunately, not not a good one. Unfortunately, not from Kevin Smith. The next one, I really was never thinking that we would get this movie because I was already in the belief, it's a Netflix movie, it will stay on Netflix forever, and then it went away from Netflix, Rob. But we finally got it from Shout. Hush came out.
Yeah.
And not only in a standard Blu-ray, which I would totally fine, we get a 4K, a Blu-ray, and an extra Blu-ray. And another one, this is actually a 4-disc set for the movie. And we get a new so-called shush cut. Shh. So I'm really
like the Baller Flanagan cut.
Yeah. So I don't know what the difference may be as a 4K and a Blu-ray. So really nice that we got that movie from Shout, because I was in the belief this movie was gone from Netflix, and that be the end of it. Luckily, it wasn't. The next one is a cat in the bag for me. I don't think I've seen it. I've got.
That's a great movie. I got that from Kino Lorber.
Nice.
Gina Gershon, great cast
for rock and roll. Yes, this Kino Lorber, a little bit smaller.
Tank Girl's Lori Petty from Point Break and from Free Willy's in it. Great cast, really good movie. That would make a great double feature with Diane Lane and Ladies and Gentlemen, the Fabulous Stains. Ooh. If anybody has that, you should pick it up. If you don't,
great for rock and roll. And then, Rob, you showed last week the Beetlejuice Steelbook, and I thought, I don't know what I would think about the new movie, and then I thought, okay, I buy this Steelbook because it has the first one in it too. So then I have both in just one Steelbook.
Wow, look at that. Oh, that's a great cover. See, that's a cool cover.
So I've got the 4K of the first one and the 4K of the second one. But I didn't get around to watch the same cover. So Beetlejuice and Beetlejuice. Both in one Steelbook. And this one, I totally had a blast with it on streaming. So I said, okay, I will buy it digitally from Lionsgate, actually, Rob. Killer's Game, which comes, you showed it, I think you already showed it last week, Rob.
No, I don't have that.
Oh,
I'll have to call up the first lady of physical media and get Lisa. Lisa hooked me up with a lot of stuff, but not that one.
4K and the Blu-ray, because I had a great time with it. Because where is Scotty? Scotty is on the cover. So really had a great time with Killer's Game, which unfortunately didn't really set the box office on fire. And this one you showed in the news section, Rob. Really looking forward to this one from the 80s, from Kino Cult, Baby Blood.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's some French extreme horror, early extreme horror.
Yeah, I remember the cover somehow, Rob, but I don't think I've seen the movie. Could be
Again,
wrong.
Kino Cult's label is one of the craziest labels out there, and that's in 4K.
Yeah, exactly, Rob. With the Blu-ray. So this is my first haul.
Well, okay. Now I've got something to show, even though it's a duplicate, sort of. So I get, as you know, we get packages from all over the world. I get a package from Amazon UK, and it's a bubble. It's not a bubble wrap thing, but it's one of those padded. But inside, once again, look, Warner Brothers is giving us this love-hate thing going on. We love Warner. We love Warner Archive. We love George Feltenstein, and we love the high bit rates. We love the classic artwork. We love the fact that they've announced their first new 4K in the Searchers. They're jumping into 4K. And then we also have Warner Brothers UK. Warner Brothers UK that put out the Bible Exorcist box. Thank you, Vixter, for making sure I got that, by the way. And the lovely Emma Bannon would have got it for me, but I didn't ask her. The Vixter got it for me first. I got my ladies in the UK that hook me up when I need to be hooked up, so thank you very much. I was going to have this. I thought I couldn't get this. So I get this box from the UK, and I open it up, and look, a secondary box.
Nice. With the logo. Even.
With the logo. I mean, you can turn this into a stash box and dry your weed in this if you want when you're done with it. Whatever you. I don't partake of the Maui Wowie, but if I did, hey, what a good stash box, right? So look at this. You could probably step on this and not crush what's inside. So first of all, Warner Brothers Domestic, David Zaslav's probably looking at us right now going, I will never pay for these extra boxes for your physical media. But Warner Brothers UK certainly does. And look,
I will check movies. That I can do.
So, oops, I'm banging my thing. Sorry about that. Yeah. It's got the flap. I mean, and the thing is, I almost want to keep this, but you open it up, and what's inside? Oh, I showed everybody that I did get North by Northwest, Alfred Hitchcock's North by Northwest last week. Oop, I keep doing it again. Now, we got a regular North by Northwest, but look what you get in the UK. Let's do an unboxing, shall we? This is the... Look, I got the. I'm always trying to get. I got that Chinatown box set. If I'm gonna buy classic movies, Hitchcock movies or whatever, and Warner Brothers in the UK, because every other country cares more about graphic novels and movies than we do, certainly here in the United States. First of all, look at this lenticular. Let me go full frame on this one, Dietz.
Yeah.
Look at this lenticular cover. I don't know, you can't really see it, but it is in fact a lenticular cover. Nice. This is a chunky box, and then I haven't taken off. I always do. This doesn't have a limited edition, but I will be taking off this, But look, let's see what's inside, shall we? First of all, put that right there. First of all, you're rocking the Steelbook. All right?
Yeah.
And you got Mount Rushmore and the famous crop duster on the back. Nice. Look at that. And then there is this. If you're a fan of the movie, you know what that is. Roger Thornhill. And then you open it up, and there's a lot in here. So I don't even, I guess, look at this. Is this I don't know if this is a bookmark. You've got foreign posters.
I remember having something the same from Blazing Saddles, and I didn't know what it was from.
Yeah, Blazing Saddles is coming to me too. So I bought things twice, and I got the Steelbook. So here's art cards. I won't show them to you the way Dieter does. Yeah. Then there is, and even though it's not a square-bound book, it's a pretty chonky book. It's got great stills. It's got great artwork. Warner Brothers used to put out these great box sets domestically, which they just don't do anymore because they're trying to save money where they shouldn't. And, of course, you have a reproduction of the movie poster. Now, again, if I ever get to build my separate home theater here, my goal is to have a separate... In the bathroom, I'm going to take all these posters and use wallpaper. Or I'm going to wallpaper the bathroom with all these posters that come in physical media. So I do have plans for what I'm going to do with all this swag. Because you can't take it with you after all. And let the collectors that...
So the one that you showed last week was just the standard emery last week?
Yeah, it with a O-ring.
Oh, yeah.
With an O-ring. So, yeah, it was a standard Amray with an O-ring. But this has all the swag. And again, it's always nice when you have these classic films when they come in a package like this that shows such care and respect from the studio that owns the rights.
Exactly.
So, although Warner Brothers uses, I would say this, and I'm going to look. Oh, that's not bad. Like on the Exorcist Bible box, the stickum, the stickum that they use for this thing left a stain. I mean, this is how fanatical we are.
Normally they get removed pretty good.
Yeah, easily. Like this, I just removed it. So now you've got this. But you know what? I think I'm just going to put it in this box just for fun, at least for a while.
And you probably, I don't know, Rob, you probably can get rid of the ratings logos too. On the front.
I don't know, but
there could be stickers too.
They are stickers. You are correct, sir. Wow.
Yes, I know.
But then you need an extra like duct tape thing so you can dab to get the rest of the adhesive to do that trick. Us physical media players, we know that well.
Yeah. Totally.
So that was something I got. Now, speaking of Warner Archive, got some tasty stuff from Warner Archive. I know that Tom Jr. Jackson got this. I was really looking forward to this. Nick and Nora Charles, The Thin Man set. Again, a great cover. These are all the Thin Man movies. The complete Thin Man collection. These are delightful, delightful films. If you have not delved into the saga of Nick and Nora Charles, I haven't even opened this yet, but what a great set to have. Some of the greatest, most fun. I don't know if you call it Heart to Heart before Heart to Heart happened, but this is some great stuff. I love these movies. I know Tom Jr. Jackson got this a while ago. The great documentary That's Entertainment that I even saw in the theater. Again, more of a modern. I think this was 70s. Was this came out in the 70s? I think. There's a number of That's Entertainment, but this is the first one. So that's cool from them. The John Cusack, Diane Lane movie, Must Love Dogs. I know these are more modern takes. Must Love Dogs. I like this film. Again, it even says the best romantic comedy since When Harry Met Sally. This is kind of like Christopher Guest movies. They're delving in to beloved movies in the Warner catalog that are newer, that aren't, not vintage, but George Feltenstein and the folks at Warner Archive, they know what you want. And then we have Joan Crawford and John Garfield in Humor-esque. That's humorous and grotesque all at once. That's what Mommy Dearest is. And you know what? If there's one movie, I would love to pool my resources with George Feltenstein, but knowing what Vinegar Syndrome is doing, George Feltenstein and I are lovers of Mommy Dearest. We're lovers of Mommy Dearest. He and I, when it was delayed, when that first Blu-ray came out, we're like, are we ever going to get our Blu-rays? What's going on? Okay, Vinegar Syndrome, or Cinematography, your partner label. Here's the gauntlet. If you people can put Little Darlings out in 4K, you know what else you can put out? That's fucking right. Mommy fucking Dearest. If only for George Feltenstein and myself, we deserve it. We want it.
So an edition of 2.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, everybody wants Mommy Dearest. No wire hangers ever. Remember that. No wire hang. And remember, as someone who's adopted, Mommy Dearest has one of the great things we should all remember. Adopted children are best because they were chosen. I learned that. Then, of course, we have the collector's choice. They collected the Looney Tunes volumes 1 through 4 together. You can still buy them separate. They did put out 4. But here's all 4 of the Looney Tunes collector's editions. These are curated collections of the Looney Tunes cartoons. They are great. They're all bangers. And you can get all 4 collections now in one box set. Now, one of the things that I've loved about Warner Archive is they put out Alaska, this series with Roger Moore that I had never seen about the gold rush. And I'm like,
never heard.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it. They've already done one Western series. And the thing is, George Feltenstein knows what's up. He knows we haven't seen these shows before, but he picks the ones that are good. Now, here's a Western show I had never heard of. And, I wasn't alive. And there wasn't any way when I was just born, you couldn't go online and stream shows that back in the day. So this is a Western series.
And you were not into Western back in the day.
I wasn't into Westerns. Not until later. Not until, as a matter of fact, Kelly Goto, who I talked about, who has Seattle Samurai, I was at her apartment late night out when I first watched The Searchers. So her apartment in West LA on Bundy, that was right up the street from where I lived. We were up late at night drinking, as we did. And she had Jane, her roommate. I was sleeping, or I passed out on the couch, and that's when I woke up and I watched The Searchers for the first time. It was at her apartment, and that's what Warner Archive is releasing. She and Sean were probably asleep. Jane was asleep, but I was out in their family room, and I watched The Searchers at her apartment. But a man called Shenandoah, right here, which I know nothing about, But Robert Horton stars as a gunfighter in search of his identity across the wilds of the Old West in this seldom seen 60s Western classic. A stranger shot and left to die from exposure in the elements. Half dead, he is brought to a small town by a pair of cowboys who hope there may be a reward for his capture. A worldly woman, Kate, played by Beverly Garland, nurses the man back to health. When he recovers consciousness, the man has no idea who he is or where he came from. Newly christened Shenandoah by Kate, he is forced into a gunfight, killing the one man who might have told him who he is. I mean, this shit sounds dope as fuck. Come on.
Yeah.
Right?
Good setup.
Warner Archive, I'm in. It's like
Good
The
setup.
Prisoner, but in the Old West. Or, that other movie with Captain Pike, or that other show they made for UPN, Nowhere Man, which was intriguing for a season. But then that's all they did. So, The Man Called Shenandoah. This sounds great. I wonder if, like The Fugitive, it has an ending. Is the one-armed man in this? And do they find out who Shenandoah really is? I would say probably, because the complete series is here.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the last Warner Archive title I got is Victor Herbert's Sweethearts with Jeanette MacDonald and Nelson Eddy. So there's got to be some good music in it. Again, a classic title going back to what they do best. That's Warner Archive. They sent them to me. And not going to lie, getting free discs from Warner Archive in the mail is one of the great joys of life. You can't put it in your mouth, but it's one of the great joys of life. So just saying for you people out there. So that's the first thing that I'm going to show. So where do we go now? Where do we go from here?
We have some
If you're gonna
super
sing
chats
some
that
Buffy.
came in.
We have more super chats. We do. Yes, we do, actually, as a matter of fact. Let's see. Walter Whitewalker says, congrats on the Millennium Teenth episode, Rob. Now, this show is 17.6% of the way there. Our show.
We will probably no chance that we will get to 1,000.
Okay. Here's a good question. I got one for you.
Yeah.
If we do this show, I mean, we've been doing the show for 4 years, and we're 7. So we're gonna have to do this show for. I mean, do the math. We're not even at 20%.
20 years.
So it's gonna take us at least 20 years to get there. The odds are good that we can't even get to 1,000 shows unless we start doing it more than once a week, because there will be no physical media being produced by the time we would get to 1,000 shows.
Exactly.
Also, if we did it for 20 more years, I mean, if we did it for 20 more years from right now, dude, I'd be pushing 80.
Exactly. Who knows if we even reach that? I'm really happy if we can get this done.
I mean, if you think about it, the real question is, if we did this for 1,000 shows, like by all the stuff we'd be buying up to that point, there wouldn't be, assuming I made it to be 80, I would not have enough time left in life on this planet to get through a fraction of the discs. I mean, even if we started now and I watched, I wish I could live a life of leisure where I wish I was a kept man. I wish I had a sugar mama and all I could do is just watch discs, write reviews, stream, make love to my lady, do whatever. I can't. I have to keep working. You and I are never going to watch all our discs. Let's face it. Let's just come to grips.
And there's
Let's
always
be
the new
realistic.
stuff that's coming out.
I know. And it's just the reality. It really is kind of futile. We are tilting at windmills on this show, my friend. Panza. We're both of us. Dean Quixote. Dean Quixote was a movie I worked on. It's Don Quixote.
As we can go.
What can we do? So the Millennium Teenth, Walter Whitewalker is just this is what I love. People they give me new nicknames and they create new words. Millennium Teenth. Millennium Teenth is the last I should have called it that. SWA has become a new member of the channel. He is an imagination, or they are. See, that's another thing. You get in trouble. You can't assume anyone's gender, but he does have General Grievous, so I'm going to assume it's a he. But you never know. Maybe General Grievous.
You never know.
we just assume General Grievous is male. That's probably a wrong assumption in this day and age. You never know.
Yeah.
And White Walter comes back and says, if 7 of 9 was a smoke show, can you imagine 9 of 9?
He and his wording puns.
You know what? Since Kelly Goto is an ongoing theme on this show because her dad, Seattle Samurai, she wrote a book.
Yeah.
I first met Jerry Lynn Ryan, who was just named Lynn Ryan, because she went to school with Kelly at Northwestern University in Chicago. And when she first moved out to L.A., I kind of hung out with her sometimes when she would come visit Kelly. So there's a connection. Kelly Goto is in the air and everywhere. Steve Cantino comes back and says, Diane Lane makes me feel weird with 2 big heartthrob smiley faces with hearts. Look, okay, I would dare say this. You know, depending on your taste, if you go back and watch Coppola's Rumblefish and The Outsiders from 1983 and you watch Walter Hill's Streets of Fire, I dare anyone. I mean, Diane Lane, the word smoke show definitely applies. There might not be a more beautiful young lady in movies ever than her. She was almost young Catherine Deneuve, like in The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, which, by the way, is coming out in 4K. I think, I don't know from who, but they have a new 4K restoration. It's going to be theatrical. Looks amazing. But yes, and Diane Lane is, of course, Must Love Dogs. She's still a smoke show, even though she's Superman's mom.
Yeah.
Why did you say that name? Well, my mom's name. Miele, who we got to meet for the first time. Miele was on the show, was on the 1000th show. Miele, Miele says, a 4-hour stream will be nothing for you now. Well, Miele, it was great to meet you. You're definitely somebody that you're an imagination connoisseur par excellence, and we could all hang out together. So, yeah, Miele, it was great to meet you. So we are caught up with Super Chats.
Okay. Then I would say, Rob, I show my second haul. No?
Lay it on us, buddy.
I've got
Give
some
us the
stuff.
second haul.
Let me just get over here. You showed this in the news section, Rob, and after the 1000th show, the question is, will things be different? Things will be different. I've got from the UK. Really nice.
Well, damn it. That was produced by Benson and Moorhead.
Exactly. But
I really want to get that. That's about the heist. They go into the house. And have you watched that?
Yeah.
How is it?
Yeah, of course, Rob. I watched. Really nice one, but don't expect to get answers to everything. You know, it's that kind of movie where you really like to revisit to see if you can catch.
That's very Benson
else.
and Moorhead. You don't get answers, but I like the journey.
Totally. Even if they're only executive producers, it's totally in that kind of realm. It's
in the Benson and Moorhead universe.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's written and directed by Michael Felker, and it's really nice to see what you can do with really little, actually, to tell a really gripping story, because the 2 main actors carry the movie for me, even through the slow times of it. And like you said, for people who don't know the setup, I won't give too much away. But like you said, Rob, they robbed a little bit of a bank and they find a nice safe house, you know.
Or is it nice?
A different safe house. So things will be different, hopefully. The next one, Steelbook from the UK, Trainspotting, you know. And really nice because it has a complete O-ring.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Around it.
I love Trainspotting.
So 4K and Blu-ray. Trainspotting. 4K. Then this one, Rob, doesn't have the font anymore, considering 100 years, but it was a Schnäppchen. So I got it. Rebel without a cause. So it's missing the font.
Yeah, but how great is that cover? That cover is so good.
Yeah. So this is still only an Emerald. And with that one, I ordered the next one because it was Black Friday sale, so it was a Schnäppchen too. And those movies are always starting pretty good at the box office, and then they run and run and run and always make it to $1 billion. I bought Despicable Me 4.
Nice.
4K, because the 4K is only available once again in America. I have not seen that the movie is getting a 4K release anywhere else. Even if I would love to see my animated movies, if possible, in 3D. The next one from, actually, not sold, from Paramount themselves, We Were Soldiers. The
Nice.
4K got in the house. It didn't get an Atmos track, but the 5.1 was great back in the day. Because I think, Rob, I have We Were Soldiers on HD DVD, you know? Great format.
Wow. It's been a long time
Today.
since you said HD DVD on the show.
Yeah. And from Shout, this came with Hush. I've got, of course, from Rob Cohen, Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. Great movie. 4K and Blu-ray, but haven't gotten around to see how the transfer will hold up. And the next one, I will hold everyone here responsible for me buying this one, Tim Hens and all the other. So if it's not good, you will hear from me. Because, Rob, I've got the Blake 7.
Oh, dude, I'm dying to get that. Was that released domestically? It wasn't. It didn't come out yet.
No, this is UK. Rob.
It's UK. Yeah, dude. Come on, man.
From
Dude, Blake 7 is the best.
From the BBC.
With new effects and everything.
And it comes here with a little guide, I would say, about the different episodes. So, since it got recommended pretty heavily, I will hold you all responsible for it.
Well, now you understand, like it's shot on videotape in 16 millimeter,
I know.
So, but it's really good.
So I have to go in with a little bit of a different mindset. I know.
But you know what? It'll win you over 10 minutes into the first episode. You'll be locked in. You'll be locked in.
Okay. Nice.
And there's new effects.
And like you said, it has that great ending, like everyone said. So I'm really looking forward to it. Let me just see. Like you said, updated special effects on all 13 episodes, archival documentary on it, new feature-length documentary in conversation with actors, rare convention footage, and some ex-DVD content in it too.
And by the way, it has one of the great spaceships, the Liberator, that most people in America don't know. But it's right up there with Starship Enterprise and Millennium Falcon. The Liberator is a big, as far as if you're a spaceship connoisseur, a spaceshipologist.
Yeah.
The Liberator is a ship you should know.
And like I told you, Rob, I don't remember this series making it to Germany. Never heard about it.
I didn't see it till it was on PBS, and it was hard to. It's funny. It was hard to see. It was on sporadically. It's a lot. It's great, but then I bought when the DVDs came out. I was able to finally see the entire series 20 years ago. So
nice.
There you go.
So my second doll.
Okay, well, let's see. I do have some more stuff. First of all, I did get a book. Jerry Manninen in Finland recommended this series to me. This book is called The Tainted Cup. And it's a genre pastiche.
I think you told us about it.
Yeah, Robert Jackson Bennett. I did, and very nice. I like this hardcover edition. I ordered it, but in D'Artana's grandest mansion, an imperial officer lies dead, killed to all appearances when a tree erupted from his body. Even here at the Empire's borders, where contagions abound and the blood of the Leviathans works strange magical changes, it is a death both terrifying and impossible. catnip for the Bobster. That description has me locked in dark fantasy and mystery in a weird land. I'm telling you. So thank you, Jer. Again, you never know. Advice from Finland. We get advice from all around the world on this show. We're truly a global community here. And thank you for this. I can't wait to jump in. And the
let's see if it will be the table read. You know, Rob, that you start at the table and don't stop.
Yeah. I mean, again, if you want a science fiction novel, Andy Weir's, Project Hail Mary. If you haven't read Project Hail Mary, the movie's getting made. You could be one of those people that wants to wait for Ryan Gosling. I get it. You're a Notebook fan. It could be the Notebook in space. It is a relationship movie, but not with a man and a woman. And if they pull it off, you have one of the great alien characters of all time, not like a Mr. Spock alien, but Project Hail Mary. It's a one-sitting book. It's a banger. Bangarang. Awesome. Get that book. Get it, people. Let's see. What do I got? Okay, this might be my favorite thing I got this week.
Yeah.
And I'm going to mispronounce his name. Takashi Miike, audition.
Takashi Miike. I would say Miike, bro.
So yeah, Takashi Miike. This was the first Takashi Miike film I ever saw, and it blew my fucking mind.
Okay.
Fudo, The Next Generation. Now, I mean, this is a bare bones.
I think mine was actually Ichi, Rob. I think Ichi was the first.
Ichi the Killer? Yeah. I have Ichi the Killer. Look, talk about Ichi the Killer. Okay, how random is this? Here is an Ichi the Killer action figure. This was a hideously expensive. This was a mail order. This is a Metacom. I have Ichi and I have this. This was a Metacom Heroes. What was it called? I forget the name of the line, but these were mail order only figures. And I want to say about 15 years ago, I was at the San Diego Comic-Con walking around and shopping. Yeah. And these two figures were like at a booth, but they were behind other boxes. And the only reason I could see them was I was walking sideways and I'm looking, I could see what he had on his shelves. And it was one of those things where I was like, whoop! And I walked up to him and I go, oh my God, those are Metacom Ichi the Killer action figures. He didn't even know what I was talking about. I'm like, they're in the box in the back around these other figures. And they were like hideously expensive. But interesting, these Metacom, what are they called? Something Hero. I forget the line. Somebody in the chat will know. But they traditionally, like, they made a Spawn figure as part of this line. They make a lot of movie figures that were like anime versions of movie figures. I have a lot of figures, but they're very brittle and the plastic had a tendency to break. This is not broken and the clothes are great. But anyway, Fudo. It does have special features. They took this scan off the best existing 35 negative. Yeah. This is about a high school Yakuza boss. A high school Yakuza boss. This movie has things in it that I could not believe.
Like Ichi.
Like Ichi. It's like Ichi. It's yes. And there's a scene in a strip club where an underage girl is a stripper and she actually fires a needle out of a blow dart that's in her hoo-ha and it kills a dude. I'm just saying. I'm in. I know. This movie is great.
Was this one of his first movies, Rob?
Probably. I want to say this is from 96. Okay. I don't even know.
But considering how many movies Takashi made, probably not.
Miike. Okay, it says here, hailed by critics the world over, Fudo is the film that brought Takashi Miike to the attention of international audiences. This film has won awards at numerous film festivals, including the 1998 International Fantasy Film Special Award at the Portugal Fansporto Film Festival. Prepare yourself to experience the extreme and virtuoso filmmaking of Miike and his sordid tale of nihilistic gangster mayhem that set the pace for later classics like Audition and Ichi the Killer. All I can tell you is if you want to have a fun time at the movies and have a double feature brought to you by some great Japanese filmmakers, that this makes a great double bill, get The World of Kaneko and Fudo and watch them together. Pop the popcorn, break open the wine, get some brewskis, get some sake, get yourself liquored up, and you watch Fudo and the world of Kaneko. The Japanese deliver, man. I'm telling you, now the mantle has been taken by the Koreans, I got to say. I don't want to be, I don't want to start a rivalry between Japan and Korea, but the Japanese could do no wrong back in the day.
This is an American release, Rob.
This is. I want to say it's from Tokyo Shock. Let me look.
Oh, Tokyo Shock. Okay.
I think it is. It is Media Blasters. Media Blasters, the big. So this is one of their primary releases. And again, this is another one of those titles that I've owned on DVD. I've owned it on Blu-ray, and now I have the 4K. I can die a happy man. I never have to buy this again. Get this movie, and it's bare bones, but there are special features. So, yeah. Fudo.
Nice.
Who doesn't want this? Who doesn't want, blow dart wielding female stripper assassins? And because I know I do. My last bit of haul is what I got at the Criterion sale, Barnes and Noble. Just a few things, but I did get the others, Amenabar's The Others. Nice. Alejandro Amenabar, the man who made Thesis. So it's kind of an Amenabar week or an Amenabar month. I really love this movie. I love Nicole Kidman in this movie. This is a terrific film, and I'm happy to have it in 4K. Again, what a classy cover. So I got that. Obviously, I had to get Gojira.
Wait, Rob. I have the same, but from the UK.
Oh, well, there you go. Is that Criterion? Oh, it's the same thing. You got the Criterion?
Yeah, it's the same thing, Rob.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
So we both got Gojira in 4K. Do they have Criterion sales in the UK?
This was not on. This was not on specific.
Wait a minute.
Sale.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I hadn't even opened this up. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's cool, dude. Again, I really don't.
Not a Black Friday sale. I had this on pre-order, Rob.
Ah, well. So,
and for
great
me,
minds.
Of course, a little bit cheaper in the UK.
Yeah, great minds think alike. Although I really wish, I get it. Yeah. I really wish they would change their packaging for 4K releases. But it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, of course,
considering against the Vinegar Syndrome, it doesn't feel as sturdy. That's
the thing. I mean, these boxes give me the flat matte finish. Give me the whole. I get it.
Feels a little bit flimsy.
Okay, now many people are gonna give me shit for this next 4K disc, but it's a great movie. I had to get it. Produced by Ray Stark and William Wyler. I've talked a lot about how if you grow up in a Jewish household, especially of a certain age, that your fathers talked about how great Barbra Streisand was, and in my life, when we talk about Jewish Movie Day, which is December 25th, we're 24 days away from Jewish Movie Day. In my lifetime, there were 2 Jewish movies on Jewish Movie Day, and one I did not go to, which was Yentl, because I couldn't deal with Barbra Streisand. But I freely admit, because this is a great movie, I bought Funny Girl. I did buy Funny Girl in 4K. And look, when you open it up, what do you see? 1960s Barbra Streisand. She's pretty attractive. I understand. I get why she, So I did get the 4K. It's in 4K. I'm sure this movie looks incredible. William Wyler also directed this movie. So, this is the movie that put Streisand. I had to get it. And now,
no apologies needed.
The final 4K, my final disc. And this is again. I can't get Japan out of my mind for whatever reason. Can't tell you why. It's in the air and everywhere. I had to get this, but I just want to say right away, I'm getting the BFI version as well. I talked to Bill Hunt about this. 70 years old this year. Oh, see, fuck, you got the BFI version.
Just saying, Rob. Just saying. But
yes.
Yeah.
That has Dolby Vision and HDR.
So, how's yours comes This has a standard MRA in it, Rob. How's the criterion?
This is Diggy, as you would say, Digipack.
Oh, nice. That's nice. Rob. Here's a standard MRA.
So but you got the extra stuff. We got 3 discs here. There is the great book, and by the way, I do have my 6th scale.
Rob, 3 discs.
Yeah. Well, one's probably
this has 2, Rob.
Well,
it has 2.
We've got the 4K disc. You've got the Blu-ray of the film, and then you have all the great supplements. There's a disc of supplements, which is great.
It seems, Rob, that the BFI is missing the movie just on Blu-ray. It seems.
But you have all these incredible.
The movie on 4K.
Criterion's put Seven Samurai out so many times that they've got so many supplements and stuff, and Kurosawa and all that. So I bet it's great. But you'll probably have the same special features. But I will say again, the comparisons are out. Criterion is not availing themselves of Dolby Vision yet, and HDR. But apparently the better presentation is the BFI disc.
Okay.
So, what can I tell you, lovely people, other than that? So I don't know what to say.
I would have thought they used the same master, same encoding.
But no, the BFI version has. Oh, look at that! That's cool. See, BFI, they got different artwork. And what's not to love? It is, in fact, The Seven Samurai, one of the greatest movies ever made. So, do what you want.
But I haven't looked at it. How it looks.
Yeah, Bill Hunt said it's spectacular.
Okay.
So, there you go.
That's good to know.
I think so.
Our Seven Samurai.
I think it is good to know.
Yeah. So, Rob, since you are through, then I will show my rest of stuff.
Lay it on us, baby.
The first one, I know, Rob, it's not a good movie, not a great movie, but I have kind of a soft spot for it, and I waited for a little bit of a price drop. I bought, actually, The Lost in Space.
Yeah, dude, I can't go with you there on that one. Written by Akiva Goldsman. It's just not good. Sorry.
But there is a little bit of a history point. This was, as far as I remember, the first movie that went to number 1 and put Titanic at number 2 back in the day. So Lost in Space with some, I think there are new interviews. Yeah, there are new interviews on it. From Sonny Chiba, of course. From Eureka, I've got Bodyguard, Kiba 1 and 2. Comes with a different artwork. Actually, comes with 3 different artworks. You could choose a third one here. And we've got a nice booklet in it too, which mostly comes with the first pressings of Eureka. If you're a little late to the party, sometimes the booklet is missing later. So the Bodyguard, part 1 and 2, Kiba. Then this one from Arrow, Cat in the Bag, Tommy. It's called Tommy.
There you go.
Different cover artwork below. And we have it's a booklet, actually. It's a booklet for the movie. So this is just, let me just see. Yeah, this is a Blu-ray. It's not a 4K. But I don't know the movie, but Japanese, how bad can it be? And the last one, since we are on our Japanese trip, Rob, I hope I don't say anything wrong here. Yeah, it is Japanese. The last one, really nice. I haven't seen it, considering the transfer, but it was announced. Then it got cancelled, and we thought, okay, this might be it. I don't know if it were rights issues And then it popped up again as a pre-order from BFI 2. Watership Down. Actually made it.
Now, is that 4K?
Yeah, Rob. It is the 4K, Rob. Finally. Because we knew we had it in the news section back in the day, and then it
disappeared
somehow. Yeah, I don't know what the deal was, considering perhaps riot situation, camera negative or something like that. No idea why it got actually removed, and we thought, okay, this would be it. But no, finally, after a little bit longer wait, it actually made it to the release. You can get it as the 4K edition, and I think a Blu-ray edition too. So you have both options. And this was just slip on the back, which, unlike Rob, I save. Don't throw that away. Do not throw that away. And we have the poster of it. Just see where does it fold here. So one.
Yeah, that's cool. See, you can put that in a bathroom wall, and that's of course the iconic movie poster.
Yeah. The last one from BFI, Watership Down.
British quad style. That's cool.
Yeah. And why don't I have anything to show from Germany? Because yesterday they screwed me up. They were on their way, and the live tracking said only 2 stops, and then we will be with you, with your orders. And then it stopped. It didn't move any further. Then I got notice, we couldn't make it today, So I will get German titles tomorrow, hopefully. So no German titles this week, but the other international countries came through. Watership Down from BFI, my last one.
A fine haul, my friend. A fine haul.
Just put it back together, give it over to you.
Well, I'll tell you, I guess it's time for the news. And, of course, we had a lot of we had talked about last week what Severin had for Black Friday sales. And, of course, the Keep was the big surprise that Vinegar Syndrome dropped on us. But it's interesting. So Vinegar Syndrome had the Keep. They also told us they're putting out Congo, which I admitted I couldn't stand, so I'm not going to buy it. Yeah. No shade on Frank Marshall. But they also, something escaped my radar. Everyone knows my passionate love of Sharon Stone, at least her character, Catherine Trammell, in Basic Instinct.
Just saying, Rob, Congo is not sold out. Just saying, Rob. Just saying.
Congo is not sold out.
It's not sold out.
And there's a reason for that. And they've been look, Vinegar Syndrome. They should just they should rebrand. You know how they have the partner labels? They should just start their Paramount label. Because they're raiding Paramount's library and they're doing great stuff. I mean, they're doing The Last Detail, Going South, Little Darlings, The Keep, but they're also putting out. And now here's the thing: this is not a great movie, but Sharon Stone's in it. And there are 2 movies that Sharon Stone is in that are not good movies that I adore, but this is not one of them. But they're putting it out. Sliver.
Yeah.
Sliver in another one of their cool die-cut covers and all that. I mean, I get it. Here's the thing. Vinegar Syndrome is doing a great job with these releases. The transfers look great. The packaging is great. Everything is cool. The only problem with this release is the movie. It's just not good. And this is Sliver is based on a novel by Ira Levin, who wrote Rosemary's Baby. So, I want to love it. It's just not that great. And maybe I'd buy it. Maybe, it's the kind of thing you want to buy it just to support, But hey, that was a Black Friday release. And speaking of Paramount, the other people that are raiding Paramount's library is Kino Lorber. They'll give us everything from Indecent Proposal, and now it just came out. And if Face Off is great, I mean, they've given us so many great Paramount titles, which is great. And of course, this really kind of pissed me off, but it doesn't matter. So the 2 Jakes, the sequel to Chinatown, the 2 Jakes came out if you bought Chinatown in America, which I didn't do because it was sold out, I got the slipcase version from the UK that doesn't come with the two Jakes, but I did buy the UK Blu-ray only release. Well, Kino Lorber announces what? A 4K of the two Jakes. Yeah. I mean, I bought the two Jakes on Blu-ray a couple months ago. Now it's coming out in 4K. By the way, this piece of artwork, the two Jakes artwork, the actual artwork is actually owned by Max Allan Collins, the writer of True Noir. He owns the actual artwork. It's in his upstairs office. Yeah. It was one of the first things I saw when I went to his house. It was amazing. So, yes, thank you, Kino Lorber. I really appreciate that. I wish somebody told me 2 months ago, so I didn't. Not only did I buy the Blu-ray from the UK, but I paid shipping to bring it over here. So,
story of our lives.
Yeah, I know. Not that it really matters. I look at it this way. It's every time I buy a disc for a second time, that's probably 3 double Jameson and rocks that I didn't need, that I won't buy because I don't go out anymore and I'm not spending the money, which is probably best. It's better for everybody, really. You're getting to the point where it's time to hang it up. Like, look, everything else I do, it's the same shit since I've been 8 years old. But, the drinking, knock it off a little bit, get that face a little thinner, get in shape. And buy more discs and pay for them twice.
And with considering two Jakes, Rob, is it good enough for you for 4K, for WDB?
Look, I think anything. Here's the thing about 4K. Like, I just love the added detail in the frame. And if the transfer is good, Paramount does usually a pretty great job. I mean, in terms of pixels. A 4K disc is about 4 times the resolution of a Blu-ray disc. And if it's done correctly, it looks great. And photochemical movies that have an original negative that come off film look great in 4K if the transfer is done correctly and they're not using too much DNR. So I'm all for it. A lot of our modern films that are finished, effects-heavy movies are finished in 2K because the effects, now they're starting to render things out at 4K, but rendering stuff out at 4K is 4 times more expensive. Every frame costs money. So a lot of times we're seeing, especially from the last 20 years, effects-heavy films are 2K upscales into 4K. But when you're getting a photochemically finished film before the age of high-resolution digital, I love getting 4K discs. I mean, whether it's Blade Runner, whether it's Alien, as long as it's done correctly. Die Hard never looked good on home video until it hit 4K. Then they finally got the color timing right. So give me 4K, but give me, they have to give it the tender loving care it deserves, man. So speaking of Paramount, another title coming out in 4K. Now here's something else. Okay. Obviously, people would say, well, Rob, you host Marilyn Vance's Designing Hollywood podcast, and Marilyn Vance was the costume designer on this movie. So I think I have to buy it out of, at least to get her to sign it or something. But I don't know, while I love this film as a middle-aged man with one foot in the grave, would I buy a 4K version of Pretty in Pink? By the way, this is a movie that Paramount itself is releasing. They don't license this out. So Paramount, you've got the Paramount logo on the side, 4K. But I got to tell you, I think this is a very classy box. Obviously, it retains the classic key art from Pretty in Pink. Cool box.
Is it that, one that opens again?
I don't. You know what? I don't know. I don't know if it opens or it's a slip case.
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, but it's still. I still like it. I mean, hey, and everyone remembers John Cryer as Ducky and Annie Potts as the owner of the record store that Andy works in. But who's not on this key art, and the reason I would buy this, because it has James Spader in it. And James Spader, look, I love James Spader as a good guy in Tough Turf, but his turn as Dix in teen movies in the 80s, Pretty in Pink was the beginning. Dutra in The New Kids, directed by Sean Cunningham, even though you can see Lori Loughlin taking a shower and she's wearing, a bra in the shower because, she doesn't want to expose her flesh, which is too bad, but I understand, of course. But then the greatest villain turn of all time from the 80s from James Spader was in Less Than Zero. Not a great movie, but I watch it just because he's in it with his slick back, his hair, I'm the coach of the Lakers. But Pretty in Pink, he's wearing those linen suits. He looks great with his flowing locks. And he says, you're a bitch. You should see a doctor about that because that condition's terminal. Who doesn't love that?
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people are. They're going, what, Rob? What are you talking about? Pretty in Pink in 4K. You know you want it.
We need that inscription in front of the movie, that makes us aware that there's stuff in it. Controversial today.
Yeah, there you go. And then, of course, finally, we're seeing some real artwork. Constantine. Really like this movie. It might not be a perfect adaptation because they changed the character of Constantine too much, but Francis Lawrence directed this, your beloved Francis Lawrence, who did Hunger Games movies. You got to love, and of course, Francis Lawrence is currently directing, I think they've wrapped, they're in post, on the great Stephen King adaptation, The Long Walk. So you got that cooking. So Constantine finally come out in 4K, which is dope,
Totally.
And then we get to Arrow.
Because sorry to interrupt. I think Constantine was one of the first titles back in the day when the HD format.
HD. Yes. And Constantine, I think, is a lot of fun. Jaimin Hansu's in it. Peter Stormare's in it.
Stormare. Yeah.
I mean, it's great stuff. Great stuff. And then, of course, we have Arrow. Arrow just keeps coming out with banger after banger after banger. They did release their February titles. First, they got some culty stuff. You've got this film, A Certain Killer and a Killer's Key, in a box set. I don't know anything about this, cat in the bag for me, but look at this cover. I mean, is there anything cooler than Asian dudes with cigarettes and sunglasses? I don't think so.
Probably not.
Like if I've told people if I was Chinese, I'd want to be Tony Leung or Chow Yun Fat. I'm just saying that. Now, this doesn't look like Chow. I'm telling you, I don't know this one, but alone. Arrow's great. So they're putting this out. These are February titles, but they announced them, I think, on Friday. Then we have Last Stop in Yuma County, another great classic genre movie from the early 70s, mid 70s. And then maybe these next two from them are unbelievable. First, Life Force. Life Force in the slipcase set. Now, people would say, well, Rob, didn't Scream Factory already release Life Force in 4K?
Exactly. That's what I wanted to ask you too, Rob.
Oh, I knew you would ask. Au contraire. Because guess wasn't in 4K on that release. By the way, I did contribute.
The extended version.
That's right. The Life Force International Cut, which is like 20 minutes longer. It's the only way to watch Life Force, was not in 4K on the Shout release. But it is on this one. Go Arrow. Go Arrow. Who's your girlfriend? Not Arrow, but hey, you can get Life Force because you know who is your girlfriend? Matilda May, because she's wandering around London with nothing on, her gorgeous dancer body with her pendulous, I shouldn't say pendulous, they're perfect breasts, some of the most perfect breasts you've ever seen in a movie, and she's just full of full frontal nudity, walking around Hyde Park, taking the Life Force from people.
Great color.
By the way, as everyone knows, Patrick Stewart's first kiss on screen is in this movie, and it's with another guy. That's a true story, by the way. So Life Force is coming.
Do you know, Rob, if we get two different cover variations from Arrow again, one store exclusive, one for normal online?
Well, that's a good question. If you look at this now, what's really interesting?
Yeah.
So you've got the cover with the guy on the ground and them floating in the sky. That looks like that's newly commissioned Life Force art.
Yeah.
Then you've got the American art with the eyeball coming to Earth. And because Arrow is that dope, you can see sliding out of the O-ring. That is the third cover. That's the international artwork. Now, I have a Japanese Laserdisc a Life Force Laserdisc that I have in a frame that has the really cool Japanese artwork, but there's a naked girl strapped to like a floating seed pod in the international art that's coming out of the box. So this is a must-own from Arrow, and I want that. And then Arrow is also putting out Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, the parody version in 4K, but now look at this special edition. Look at this. So you've got, not only is this a big box set, you've got the different parody posters. So you got the Breakfast Club poster that's coming out of the box set. They did a poster of all the characters set up as the characters from a Breakfast Club in that key art. And then you've got all this other stuff, and you have the Footloose. I don't think I've ever seen the Footloose parody in here.
Variation. Never seen that one.
I haven't either. I don't know if that was done specifically, if that was something they didn't use in the ad campaign or not. But this movie's wacky. It's not everyone's taste. I saw this movie. A bunch of us went when I was going to the Evergreen State College, and we went and saw this movie in Tacoma in the theater. I went with Chuck Bender and some other folks. So shout out to Chuck. This is coming out as well. And then one of the very first movies that I ever bought on video cassette, there was an old video company called Allied Artists. And I had 2 movies from them that they had put out, Crypt of the Living Dead, and also Alice Sweet Alice, a.k.a. Communion.
Oh, nice.
Now, Alice Sweet Alice has come out a number of times, but Arrow is re-releasing this again in a 4K version. I like this movie. I think it's good. And by the way,
I have it somewhere up, not in my shopping cart, but in the possibilities adding to a shopping cart, but not as a 4K. So it's nice to know.
Yeah, there you go, 4K. Now this is last stop in Yuma County. They're pulling out all the stops. Arrow is pulling out all the stops for this, which is great. I didn't show that before, so that's cool. And then the Alice Sweet Alice version is this. I mean, they're really, Arrow's doing some great work, and then this also is this set here. So Arrow, you know what? They're doing a great job. You go, Arrow. They announced these on Black Friday. There was no Black Friday pricing, but Arrow, everything they're putting out lately has been amazing. The transfers are incredible. We finally got, of course, Conan the Barbarian last year. Well, May, April, or whatever. I mean, everything Arrow's been doing lately.
The last stop, but is only a Blu-ray. Am I correct, Rob?
Yes, I believe it's only a Blu-ray. But still, again,
great movie. Great movie.
Yeah, so I really like this movie a lot. And even though I've never seen it, to be honest, Dieter, I've never seen it. I've only heard of this movie. I've never seen this movie.
It's great. Perhaps only a 2K master, digital 2K master could be.
Yeah, and I think the recent movie, also set in Yuma, probably was the impetus to release this. Now, this is interesting.
Go in blind, Rob.
Yeah, I will go in blind. Then there's this. This is a collection that's being put out, and it's being put out by Diabolic DVD's house label. I think it's their house label, Calderon. Now, Bravido, I forgive my pronunciation, just because I say Bravido doesn't mean I can speak Italian. The Giallo collection. These are movies that Lamberto Bava, Mario Bava's son, made for Italian television.
Oh, okay.
So, in a box set. And what's not to love? If you like the movie Demons, Lamberto Bava directed Demons. So this is a really cool set, I think, to get from Calderon, if that's something that floats your boat. But why not? Hey, cool box set. I know nothing of these films. I have not seen these films, but I definitely think that this box set is totally worth getting. So I would recommend that if you're a horror fan, this is probably a significant release. So why not? We're getting some great stuff. What's not to love? Yeah. And it's great. Now, it comes out in April, and it is, in fact, a 5-disc box set, which comes with 4 discs and a CD. And they're 4K restorations of most of the films, and the 4 films are Graveyard Disturbance from '87, Until Death from '88, The Ogre from '88, and Dinner with a Vampire in '89. So that's pretty cool. I mean, what's not to love? What's not to love? Now, Umbrella, not to be outdone for you fans of Australian movies, the famous, one of Nicole Kidman's famous titles, Umbrella has done a 4K restoration of BMX Bandits. So if you want to drool over Nicole Kidman, because she's a redhead, and who doesn't want to drool over teenage redheads, Umbrella Entertainment is putting this out. It's a new 4K restoration of BMX Bandits and the other movie, Two Hands. Now, of course, Brian Trenchard Smith directed BMX Bandits, and we like Brian Trenchard Smith because he directed other Australian Ozploitation movies like Turkey Shoot, a.k.a. Escape 2000 with Steve Railsback, and I believe he directed Dead End Drive-In. Did he not?
Yeah.
I think so. I'm not sure. And then we've also got a movie that I've never seen called Two Hands that is an early Heath Ledger. Look at this cast. Heath Ledger, Brian Brown, and Rose Byrne. Now, I have not seen this movie, but Umbrella is putting it out. So you go, Umbrella. And that's pretty exciting. But why not?
Lords work for their country.
Of course. And listen to this.
I think I know this movie. Two Hands.
Flames, chrome, and piercing rock music introduce us to the electric craziness and dark, pulpy humor of Two Hands. Director Gregor Jordan fuses Scrabble-addicted killers and uncoordinated bank robbers with an ensemble cast including Ledger, Rhodes Byrne, and Brian Brown to create a chemical reaction that burns holes in a one-size-fits-all filmmaking. So,
I think I've seen this movie, Rob, but on DVD.
Well, there you go. It's all so you got Ozploitation movies coming out from Umbrella, and now Kino Lorber. Look what they're doing again, putting it out in 4K. Somewhere in Time, a great John Barry score, one of the great sci-fi romances. Jane Seymour and Christopher Reeve coming at you in 4K, the way we were meant to see Somewhere in Time. So this is, what's not to love about this.
Awesome.
Now, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to tell you what it is. I don't know much about it, but here it is. Oh, that's not what it was. That's not what I meant to show you. I meant to show you this. It looked the same. Revenge of the Radioactive Reporter in 4K. And here's what it is. TerraVision is preparing a 4K Blu-ray combo pack of Craig Price's Revenge of the Radioactive Reporter from 1990, starring David Scammell, Catherine Bowes, and Derek Strange. The release is scheduled to arrive on January 28th. It's been a good week for reporter Mike R. Wave. Not only has he become engaged to his girlfriend Rochelle, but he's about to blow the lid off a conspiracy at the local nuclear power plant. Unfortunately, the plant's evil executives have another ending plan for Mike's scoop. They toss him into a bubbling cauldron of radioactive waste. But good reporters don't die. They just mutate into toxic zombies. Soon, Mike emerges from the vat with vengeance on his mind and without his skin. In an orgy of thermonuclear revenge, the radioactive reporter lays waste to the corporate cretins who scarred him, proving once and for all the pen is mightier than the sword. And this is chock-a-block full of all things. I mean, it's the 4K, it's a big box set. It's got audio commentary, it's got a making of, it's got you meet the makers of the film. I mean, it's got all kinds of things.
It looks a little bit Rob, like something like body melt or street trash.
It does look like a street trash body melt, a thing like that. I don't know if
so
I'll
perhaps
be
a nice triple feature.
Could be. You could add it in there, and why not? Then speaking about Bill Lustig, writer-director of Maniac, Blue Underground's putting out Venom in 4K. Now, Blue Underground you never know what you're going to get from them, but I will tell you what you do know. Their transfers are great. And, of course, I think my favorite Blue Underground title is not what you'd first think, but The Final Countdown. Blue Underground put that out. So Blue Underground always does a great job with their 4K releases. So this might be, if you love this movie, I would certainly suggest picking it up. Now, I don't know. We talked about Umbrellas of Cherbourg. I don't know. This is new artwork for it. I actually really like this artwork, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I love this movie. And, of course, Damien Chazelle, who made La La Land and Whiplash, says this is his favorite film. And if you've ever seen this, this is one of the great romantic tragedies. And this entire movie is sung. So, hey, for those of you who love Wicked, you want to see another musical, you want to see one of the great tragic romances in cinema history, one of the most beautiful movies ever made, Jacques Demy's The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. What a soundtrack. I actually have the soundtrack of this movie. I love this movie. You should, too. Of course, if you have the Criterion Jacques Demy box set, you don't have it in 4K, but hey, this is a new restoration and the colors will pop. So this is really cool that we're going to get this. And isn't that great? I mean, I think that's it's outstanding that we're getting it. Now, I have to say, one of my favorite releases is another thing coming to us from Umbrella, which this is a really interesting movie. So a lot of people know this movie as The Blood of Heroes domestically, but Umbrella is putting this out under its original title, The Salute of the Jugger, that stars Joan Chen and, of course, the great Rutger Hauer.
Yeah.
And it's a fully uncut 4K restoration of David Webb Peoples. And if you know certain other famous movies, I'll just say Unforgiven, but there's another movie that stars Harrison Ford you might know. The Salute of the Jugger, a.k.a. The Blood of Heroes from 89, stars Rutger Hauer, Delroy Lindo, Anna Katrina, Vincent D'Onofrio, and Gandhi McIntyre. And I can't wait to get this. And, of course, I'll just say it.
I know it only under Chugger.
Yeah. So it's it's got that Mad Max vibe, and of course David Webb Peoples was a writer of Blade Runner as well. So this is really cool, and they're doing. I mean, and they say that it joins their 4K restorations, including Hardware, Wake and Fright, Lake Mungo, and Black Sheep, and even more to be announced this week. So again, Umbrella. The only thing I dislike about Umbrella is how much it costs to ship their movies to the States. So you got to wait.
You need to put more together, Rob, to get that free shipping.
That's what I do. But sometimes you don't want to sell out because that would suck.
Yeah.
And then we're also getting VHS Beyond is coming out. I don't know why I find myself very enamored of this artwork. I think it's really clever.
Okay.
I mean, I know it's just a Photoshop job or whatever, but it's still cool. I like it. And I've liked the VHS franchise. I've liked it. And then I believe raiding the Paramount archives again is Kino Lorber putting out The Bone Collector. Again, I like these movies like Kiss the Girls, The Bone Collector. I'm looking for a serial killer, and in this one's interesting. Denzel Washington and Angelina Jolie. It's not one of the greatest ones, but hey, if you haven't seen it, it's all right. It's pretty good. Now, here's a movie that I highly recommend. And it's directed by Elio Petri, Italian director, and Criterion put, An Investigation of a Citizen Beyond Suspicion from Criterion that I also highly recommend. A movie that you should be very aware of because it's The 10th Victim, based on Robert Sheckley's short story, The 7th Victim. And Dieter, the reason that you should be aware of this is because it's very Hunger Games-esque. And it's it inspired The Running Man, The 10th Victim, that stars Ursula Andress and Marcello the Mastroianni, if you know that song. I love this movie. And in the 21st century, society's lust for violence is satisfied by the Big Hunt, an international gang of legalized murder. But when the sport's two top assassins are pitted against each other, they find that love is the most dangerous game of all. As the world watches, the hunt is on who will become the 10th Victim. This movie has an incredible soundtrack as well.
Yeah.
And of course, this is the movie where Ursula Andress is dancing and she has in her bikini top, she has weapons. They stole this from Austin Powers. If you watch The 10th Victim now, there's a lot of Austin Powers lifted a lot from this movie. But it is one of the coolest movies. So the big hunt, you have to survive being an assassin, and you have to be a hunter and a hunted person. And if you survive both, then, which is really 20 different big hunts, but it's great. If you haven't seen The 10th Victim, it's been released before, but Kino Lorber is re-releasing it. They'll probably have some good stuff on it. So, and I'm sure with this, we'll have a reversible cover, because I've never seen this before. But this movie's dope. And if you haven't seen The 10th Victim, it is a lot of fun. Although it's hard, people are going to watch and go, oh, the guns she has in her bikini top, they were in Austin Powers. No, they were in The 10th Victim. No. Austin Powers stole them. But you will like this movie if you're a sci-fi fan, because it's really good. And now we'll delve into the titles of the week. Top-selling Blu-ray discs, Deadpool and Wolverine, no surprise there. Twisters, Gladiator, The Crow from 2024, Seven Samurai, Arcane, League of Legends Season 1. That means, wait a minute. Do you have that steelbook?
Not yet.
Okay.
But Christmas is coming, Rob. Christmas is coming. It got delayed here in Germany. It got delayed.
Came twice this year. Then we got The Grinch.
But it's nice to see the series in the sales charts.
It's true. Yes. Star Trek Prodigy Season 2. Hey, that's good. Despicable Me 4. And Borderlands is number 10. And top of the 4K charts would be Deadpool and Wolverine, Gladiator, The Seven Samurai. I love seeing Criterion in the top 3. Love it.
Yeah, that's good.
And it shows that it warms my dark heart that 4K people are buying Seven Samurai. Twisters, Arcane, The Grinch, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, The Crow 2024, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark from That's Good to See Arrow out there, and Paramount, they kept Zodiac for themselves, which I understand, is number 10. So that is cool. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
It's cool to see, Rob, if a sequel comes out, that the first one pops up again in the charts, like Gladiator. Yeah.
And I love that. So it's great to see people going back, and it means more people have gone in. But that is all the news that's fit to print. And look, 2025, save those pennies, because my God, the first couple of months of 2025, it's to keep our Japanese theme going, it's a tsunami of titles. So
it certainly is. I think we have some super chats.
We do. We have some super chats, and let's see what our lovely readers have to say. People have been saying some good things today. What? That's so funny. We'll get to that one. Agent Silver Fox, I'd like to think of myself as one of those. Rob, I want you to come to Scotland so we can go drinking. Lael can come too, and make sure we don't get into too much trouble. I'm with you. I would bring Lael to Scotland. I'd like to meet a nice Scottish lass. I know there's redheads there too. But I don't want to go to the worst toilet. I mean, we showed Dieter, you showed Trainspotting, and Trainspotting does have the worst toilet in Scotland, and that is my worst nightmare to find that. I don't want to see that. Channel Surf.
It coexists, Rob, with the fall of civilization that you always fear.
It really does. My greatest fear is the fall. I love that you remember everything I say. My greatest fear being the fall of civilization, and finding a toilet like the worst toilet in Scotland is the height of that fear.
The starting factor, Rob.
Terrible. It's terrible. I don't want that to happen. Channel Surf celebrates 44 months of membership. Yeah. Thank you, Channel Surf. The whole point, he says, the whole point is that if you don't watch all of your discs, it'll be on your shelf when you want to see it. That is exactly right. I mean, 25 years ago, the great philosophy of free enterprise, Dieter's favorite movie was, sometimes it's just enough to know that they are there.
Yeah, I have it. I have it too, Rob. I have it too.
So I have to do, and another thing that happens when people come in and see your collection, they're like, "Oh, can I borrow this?" The answer, my friends, is always no. No, you can't. And don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. I mean, I hate to confront that question because normally, but maybe I'll reach a point in time when I will start saying yes. So I will never expect to get them back. Just take it and pay it forward. If you like this movie, give it to somebody else. Although every year people have less and less machines that can play these lovely shiny discs of ours. So then what do you do? And then we have Walter Whitewalker says, let Dietz do the previously on for the 1000th episode.
No, I will not go through 16 hours of live chat. Certainly not.
That would take you like 16 hours to recap. That is very funny. Previously on. You should do that. 5.toast says, philosophically, I understand Criterion's rationale for not including Dolby Vision on older releases because Dolby Vision tends to get into revisionist history given the low contrast of older film stock. Okay, that is cope. 5.toast. That's cope. Yes. I mean, you know what? That's probably the most legitimate reason. I just think it's because they were the first people actually doing 4K restorations. Then they would have to go back and spend more money recolor timing because they have the 4K master somewhere. But I think that's a good bet. I think that's a good bet. Yeah. So I don't think it's cope. I don't think it's cope. Thomas Logan says, Bobby, did you take a minute off the 1000th to PO Vinegar Syndrome's Limited and now sold out the keep? Or did you start a Zoloft prescription yesterday? No, I'm dealing with my own cope. I didn't buy it. I did not think that the keep would sell out so quickly. I really didn't.
Me neither.
I didn't. I would imagine they would probably print more, but like I don't need a first printing if they're going to reprint it. I'm not going to tell you I don't want it. I want it. But I've owned the keep this time. I've had the keep. I want the book on the shelf, but I'll buy it probably from a secondary marketplace.
It's not like the same as what we think with the Hitcher, that everyone would buy.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing. If I lost the Hitcher, but because the Hitcher, for me the keep is not something that I hadn't. I've had other copies of the Hitcher and all that, but the Hitcher. If the keep was a classic, the keep is good. I like the keep, but it's not great. And I've heard it from the filmmaker's own mouth that he doesn't like that movie very much. I like that movie, but it does have that sort of 80s animation in it. It's problematic. But I like the fact that horror fans have not. I mean, I had the Letterboxd Laserdisc from Paramount. I still do.
So did Michael Mann actually then go, you don't get another question, sir?
No, but I think he was annoyed that I asked. But I did say that Thief. I was there because I was dating this girl named Adrienne Biddle. No, not the cinematographer Alien Biddle, but she's a producer. She produced like The Black Coat's Daughter, and she worked with Brian Bertino, who made The Strangers, the original The Strangers. And I took her to go see Thief and To Live and Die in L.A. in the theater. And when we were there, I asked the question because everybody was asking the question. I figured why not? But he probably was annoyed with me. Probably. 5.toast also gifted 5 Burnettwork memberships. We will have a member chat next week, assuming Roberto can do it. Yeah. Miele asks, can studios block discs from playing via the internet? Probably. They probably can. I don't know why they would want to, but only if your Blu-ray player. I mean, look, obviously you have to do firmware updates. Yeah. And if the disc will play, if you have a disc and you don't do a firmware update and your player is not directly plugged into the internet, or you have to ask, I believe, unless you have auto update and on there.
Always considering the internet features, you could allow or not allow access to the internet.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a possibility.
Yeah. But if you're not connected to the internet, normally they can't.
Yeah.
Stop you from playing the title.
Steve Contino asks, Rob, have you seen Into the Night? Love that movie. Not only have I seen Into the Night, I saw it opening night, the Friday it opened, directed by John Landis. It's a movie where Jeff Goldblum and Michelle Pfeiffer, I really like. And I don't think Into the Night is a great movie, but I really like it. In a way, it's kind of like the LA version of After Hours. And it's got great music, and I really like it. A lot of fun cameos. It's a fun movie. I really enjoy it. And great star turn. But again, it's not. It's one of those movies I like, but it's not great. And I own it. I think Shout Select put it out, didn't they? I think so.
You're right.
I think they put it out.
Yeah.
All right, we are caught up.
Okay. So, Rob, if you want, you can take a short break.
I do, because it's time to drain the main vein for me, buddy.
Yeah. So I say, previously on Let's Get Physical Media, and we talked about the supercut from Rob. Did get a copyright strike last week. And John the Beagle Dad said, I am beginning to not want a YouTube channel. Yeah, it's kind of tricky because I have a channel, but I have no content there, and it was gone. Can easily be taken away. Adventure Square, we are all trash pandas at heart. Hopefully we are. No Money G, so glad I downloaded it before it was taken down. Thanks, Rob. So he was happy enough to snatch it before YouTube hit him with that copyright strike. Paul in Long Beach, damn right, I don't come here for Rob. Dieter forever. Thank you, Paul. Castle Grayskull, I am stalking you. Okay, here I am. Kevin Welburn, I sub to Dieter's channel, even though there's nothing on it. Yeah, there's nothing on it. But if my manager, since he's away, fires me at one point, and you still want me to do something like that, let me know. Let me know. Then perhaps we'll get some content on that channel. No Money G, YouTube is biased. If your channel is big enough, then you can get out of anything. All depends on who you know. That certainly rings true. Paul in Long Beach, Wicked was awesome. Oh, that's great. Great to hear. And speaking of Rob getting in trouble with the Goonie stuff, Secular Monk, apparently there are a lot of Goonie fans on X. And Clarence Markwell, screaming Goonies are the worst. John the Beagle Dad, so the criticizer of a classic gets criticized. Gotta love it. Oh, eh. And he goes on, glad we never got a sequel to the Goonies. Clarence Markwell, Explorers was better until it wasn't. Okay, so that's the stuff about Goonies. And Tom H says, who are we talking about? Well, the cat is out of the bag now. And because Isha says, Lionsgate in the house? Question mark. Yes, Lionsgate is in the house. And David Rose want to know, what did the contract say? Well, give Bill Hunt the news, but Rob are taken away. No. Tom H. Women winning the box office this weekend. People are more excited about this Wicked than Gladiator 2. I talked about Smile and the verisimilitude using the was water, and Ziggy informs us was best glass bottles for reuse. That's nice. And the man says Smile 2 followed directly after the first film, but yes, you don't need to have watched the first to follow it. Does help, mind you. Of course, it's always better to have seen it. Ishai, when they hold a can bottle unnaturally, just so the logo is clear, it just can take you out of the show. Certainly, when it comes to Madam Web, Dakota Johnson around that Pepsi bottle, not even taking a sip, but considering Smile 2, Naomi Scott was chugging that was water down her throat like there was no tomorrow. Tim Hens, I thought Naomi Scott did a fantastic job in Smile 2 with her performance. And Tim Hens says, same goes for Hugh Grant in Heretic, deserves an Academy Award nomination. it won't happen. Not in the mindset of the Academy voters. Bunny and Snipe, this isn't Let's Get Streaming. No, it isn't. But, like I said, it's always a hangout. And if I've seen something cool that I can recommend, like A Man on the Inside, easy binge, I will do that. Or
plus, it might show up on physical media.
Yeah, exactly, Rob. Like Arcane, even if I still don't.
I mean, physical media is about where we might see something on streaming that it's like a TV show. I'll buy a TV show, I saw.
Or Hush. Now we get Hush on 4K even. Mr. Ian, what happened to the Otoy Supercut? Was it taken down? Yeah, unfortunately.
Not only was the Otoy Supercut taken down, I got a copyright strike on my channel because of it. Which, by the way, I there are so many different Otoy cuts now. Now, here's what I think happened. To be honest, so Otoy, when they initially put up their unification short, it was unlisted. It wasn't listed officially on their channel, and people shared around. Mine was listed. But now there's so many different supercuts and so much stuff going on. I took the 4, I don't know if anyone else has done that, but they struck my channel. Clearly they were watching out because I had 100,000 views on that sucker within a few hours. So I did protest it because I did say, look, it was not monetized. It mentioned who owned the copyrights. I had the copyright notices on there, and it was transformative. I took all 4, and technically I tried to argue.
Back yet.
Well, YouTube has denied my claim twice. They're like, why should we? They're like, I'm sure it was an AI bot. They're like, we don't know if this really falls under fair use, and so I made sure to say this was fair use and transformative for my 3rd attempt, because a copyright strike against your channel is bad. Luckily they continue to let me stream, but. I didn't make any money from it. I wasn't doing anything commercial with it. I did theoretically.
You just wanted to share.
Yeah, and I did put things together, which is surprising that they didn't do that. And they only put a copyright strike on the new part of it, the unification part of it. They didn't copyright strike their original pieces.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting. Because clearly, so they copyright. Because here's the thing, when you have William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy and all that, but I did put a copyright notice on it that this is both Paramount and CBS Studios owned. But who knows? We'll see if it'll come back. I hope it will. And if not,
that would be good.
We'll see. So anyway, back to you.
Castle Grayskull. I need to stop buying clothes and restart buying more physical media. Good idea, Castle Grayskull. Paul and Brunotto, considering I wasn't the biggest fan of Horizon, I saw Horizon in the theater and liked it. Tim Enns, Deeds didn't like Horizon. Shame. And Atario says Horizon is awesome. Are you 3 sure? Unbelievable here. Bigness Energy, if you like Cuckoo, the best movie out now is Heretic. Well, nice to know. Really looking forward to that one.
I need to see it.
Michel D, I like the Steelbook artwork a lot better, considering the Terminator. And the man says, I like this Terminator Steelbook artwork. Nice. Sentai Ranger Donnie, in my headcanon, there are just 2 good Terminator movies. The first 2, probably in everyone's.
That's like Star Wars.
Yeah. that topic again. Bunny and Snipe. As much as I love T2, its huge budget was the beginning of the end of that franchise. Andy Haynes agreed the Terminator 4K looks great. No controversy there. Mike McWong. Terminator is better than Terminator 2. Demands prefer T2 to T1, but to each their own. Mike McWong, T2 had changed history, and I hated that part. The jokes and humanizing the also were grown inducing. Okay. Tim Enns didn't get the ending to Love Lies Bleeding. Probably nobody did. But still a great movie. Danzig 1979. Wasn't there a guest appearing from a movie studio on today's show that Rob teased that week? Rob,
I did. I mean,
considering Lionsgate.
Okay, we couldn't have her on. That was going to be Lisa, the first lady of physical media, now part of the first couple of physical media, but they hadn't launched it yet. So they hadn't launched last week, and I you know what I forgot to I did contact her this morning. I did send her a text.
Yeah.
Let's see if I heard back from her.
Yeah. Yep.
I will look.
Jason.
No, she didn't contact me. She's probably out with her kids. It's a Sunday, so I didn't clear that with her early on because I figured it was a holiday weekend anyway. They could be gone. I mean, they got kids and everything, so I didn't ask her. But she will come on to talk about what's up, and the website has launched. But she was the one that got me involved. She called me and asked me to write stuff. So I guess people are going to accuse me of I'm shilling. Look, if someone's going to give me free discs to write reviews, I'll do it.
Yeah.
If I can get free,
editorial feed.
If I can get Lionsgate Steelbooks, I mean, sight unseen, when Dirty Dancing came out as a 4K Steelbook, Lisa just sent me one. I didn't even have to call her up and be, I want to have the time of my life. She didn't even. She just sent it to me. She knew.
Nice. Jason Webster. The Terminator is more science fiction horror in terms of how terrifying it would be to have this unrelenting cyborg killing machine hunting you. Terminator 2 is pure, unadulterated action. Indiana Jake. Rob, how many sealed Blu-ray players do you have? Considering myself, Indiana Jake, I don't have sealed ones. Everyone was in use, but I think I have 1 or 2 Oppos in my cellar somewhere.
Yeah, see, I don't. I need to buy.
But they are not 4K players, Rob. They're just Blu-ray players.
Oh yeah, no, I want to get. To be honest, I have a Laserdisc player, and I do have a DVD. I have a DVD player, but I have an Xbox and a PlayStation 5. But I really do want to get what is the Magnetar, the $1,500 Magnetar, and that I want to get the $1,500. I want to get like 3 or 4. I don't have any. I don't have that kind of disposable income. If I did, I would buy 3 or 4 and put them away for a rainy day.
Yeah.
Preferably in some climate-controlled environment. So that what you really want to do is buy the players and then find out, because you need the rubber, you need the bands so they'll always be able to play. But yeah, that's something. Look, I mean, I'm getting up there in life, so I have my plasma. I have the last plasma TV that Panasonic made, and I got that in 2013, and it's 11 years old. It looks great. There's no the whole thing
still
looks
rocking mine, Rob. Big there.
Yeah, I love that TV. I mean, I did get the LG. I have my OLED, and I'm very interested in short throw projector technology, because my movie room is small, and there's these laser projectors. I saw, like John Campia, even though he has motion smoothing on, this short throw projector that he's got, it looked pretty good. And at night, I mean, I could have my OLED, and if I had a short throw projector, it could just come up in front of the OLED screen, and you could rock it out. You could do that if you wanted to. Because not having the TV, I could pull out where my center speaker is, and I could even have the center speaker maybe kind of in front of the projector. I don't know. But there's a lot of...
Otherwise, the screen has to be, let the sound through from the
right. Yes. And that's the whole thing. I mean, look, as my friend Clark Von Trotha knows, if I had the money, I mean, he's like, I could hook you up for $20,000. You could have a great sound system. And I'm like, my clip system is still, it wasn't cheap, but the stuff he has, when I went and sat, and Roberto Suarez came with me. So when we were in Portland, I went to my friend Clark's house, and he sells very high-end home theater systems. The speaker, I've never hit the audio fidelity of the equipment that he had in his house is just, I've never heard anything like it. I mean, the kind of technology that you can get nowadays with the kind of money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I priced out. If I had a home, I want to build. The dream is to build a structure, a standing structure that you could build your own home theater in. I want it to be, and the tops, it'd be 3 stories. Actually, it'd be 4, because there'd be a basement. You'd have the home theater. Up above that would be the observatory. And then you'd have a split structure. So you'd have a rooftop deck. And then half of it would be you'd have a grill there and a bar. So you could have people over and watch movies and then go up and hang out outside and have drinks, watch somebody fall over the balcony and crash onto your asphalt of your driveway. And then you have to, yeah, that's problematic. But I mean, I'm never going to have that kind of disposable income. But if I'd invested in crypto and somebody told me about it in like 2010 and I had bought, Bitcoin for what? There was like, well, you can buy this fake currency for $1. I'm like, Bitcoin? What the point? Cut to 14 years later, and don't I look stupid? And I'm forward thinking. I should have been the man of the future, but I was not. Oh, well, I'm rambling. Back to you.
BCH, and sometimes Rob buys even if he does hate. And sometimes Rob buys even if he does hate it. Not only Rob, me too. I've got those
you don't want to disappoint somebody if they want to see
exactly, Rob. Exactly, say it like it is. Do you have that movie? Of course, I have that movie.
Yeah.
It was a big blockbuster hit.
Except Congo. I'm not going to have Congo.
Perhaps Rob as a Schnäppchen, as a late Schnäppchen.
Maybe.
Kevin Welburn, because he did throw in super chats, but we didn't know what version he watched. And he said in the live chat he watched the ultimate cut on 4K of Caligula. It was the ultimate cut.
Good. Oh, right. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And speaking of Rob's editorial about Apocalypse Now, Michel D said, because it was not really told what Rob was working on, she said, it's a website devoted to 70s French bush porn. Rob is writing reviews for that one.
I would love to write reviews of 70s bush porn. So it's softcore, Euro bush porn. But, I miss those days. That's where I cut my teeth.
Certainly. Victor Fontaine, he says, same. I wasn't paying for the box set of Trick or Treat that Dave Parker showed yesterday, but we'll pick up a discounted version of this B-horror movie. Victor, I will do the same. The interest is not worth much more.
Oh, them's fighting words, Tex.
Yeah. But it is. Jason Webster, Invasion is not as bad as Grace of Monaco. That film was so bad, to quote a critic, if the performances in this movie were any more wooden, it would be a fire hazard. I left it at I had to clip that out. Does Plato? Is Rob's satanic cult happening? You're already part of it. Does Plato? Already part of it. A performing artist, star-studded studio misfires. Amsterdam, Babylon, Megalopolis. Huh?
You know what? Babylon's been getting a lot of love lately. People are like, "Why do you dislike?"
I still haven't watched
movie?
it, Rob. I still haven't watched it. I need to. Watch
It's fun.
it.
It's not great, but it's fun.
Okay. William Barr. Speaking of the top 10 that Rob always shows us, which movie is selling. William Barr, who is buying the Crow remake? I have no idea. William. Big This Energy. I love Umbrella. Me too. Especially those latest releases. And Admiral Terry was in the live chat, and he tells me the Isle that I bought is pretty damn good. So back in the old days where I bought Region 3 disc, me too, Terry, especially, Category 3 stuff back in the day. Mealy, how would you say it, Rob? Because I always say it not correct. Miele.
By the way, I just...
Yeah, but you got it. Not for free.
I'm giving it away. If you want the Crow remake, if somebody wants this, they have to write me and tell me why they do. Thank you, Lisa.
But a good point, Rob.
Miele, by the way, it's a great story. Miele, Miele is the name of our friend's deceased brother.
Oh, okay.
And took that name to honor him.
Nice.
Which we learned on the 1000th episode of, of Robservations, which is great. Love meeting him.
Miele says, just got out of Wicked. Wow, spectacular. 9 out of 10. One says, this has been great, vicarious fun, a nice YouTube discovery. I hope he means our show. Alpital, is this the Play On Special Edition for $99 that I showed last week? It is Alpital, but like I said, I waited for a price drop, put it in the basket, and then the price went back up again to the old one. So that's always great. And Jason Webster said in a super chat he loved Ghost in the Shell. Jim Galaxia, Cutthroat Island is still an underrated goat. Jim, you and I, sir, park our shuttlecraft in the same shuttle bay. Awesome. Major Chai, I just didn't feel compelled by either story, considering she just watched the first episodes. I think it was Arcane that she couldn't get in, and the other one was Tulsa King or Penguin. I don't know anymore. Maybe I was tired. I'll give them another try this weekend for Deed's sake. And I saw it in the live chat. Major Chai, you are not into Arcane. Should I? I will not push the buzzer, but you're pretty close, Major Chai. Kevin Browning, in my mind, unification is canon. At Adventure Square, unification is such an ode to great storytelling as well as a fantastic production on all other levels for track canon. And this was the live chat readout, Rob, from last week.
Well, it's a fine live chat, and it's what brings this community together.
Yeah, certainly. I want to give the community a little bit back time with us here, being here live.
I have to tell you,
in
terms of giving stuff back to the community, I haven't figured this out yet, but
okay,
I got some giveaways.
Yeah,
I got the Steelbook, obviously Lionsgate nice. From Kill. I have the Mist Steelbook to give away. I also have from Warner Brothers, a Blazing Saddles.
Yeah,
and I have not one. They're not Steelbooks like I showed, but I have 2 copies of Beetlejuice to give away.
Oh, nice.
So I got to figure out how. I don't know how to give all these away. We'll figure that out later, and I'll make sure they're prepackaged before we give them away. So Thomas Logan, will not be going, "Where's my stuff?" We'll send it right out. I promise. I'll Dieter Bastian that stuff.
So we have some super chats left, Rob.
Let's see what people have to say. Oh my God. Stubble McShave says, send the Crow disc to Dave Parker for Christmas.
Rob is the best friend of Dave.
Oh, that's terrible. Wow. I'm saying Steve's last name wrong. Steve says, love you, Rob, but it's Cattaneo. It's Steve Cattaneo. See, I was thinking Italian, but it's Cattaneo. All right, Cattaneo, like katana, which keeps our Japanese theme going. Steve Cattaneo. All right, Bruce McGee, but it's Cattaneo. Sorry about that. I'll try and remember that. Cattaneo. Like catatonic. Cattaneo. There you go.
Yeah. That's good.
But we both love Into the Night, apparently. So, Steve, see, mispronunciations got me an extra super chat. Thank you. I don't usually like to mispronounce
clever cookie, Rob.
That was pretty good, right? Steve Cattaneo. But I cannot Stubble. That's mean. Stubble. That's a very mean thing to do.
Yeah.
But funny.
Stubble knows no bounds.
Actually, I'll send it to Dave and say it's from Stubble. That's what I'll do. No, I won't do that. I'm kidding. I won't do that. So, what do we do now?
Rob, do you have time?
Of course I have time. Okay. Wait, hang on. I've got to let me see what the picture is so it's not got it. Yep.
Oh, you got it. All right.
Yeah, okay. I got it.
Let me have some lights.
That's a second season episode called The Apple.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have guessed that, Rob. But okay. I'm not the expert.
That's a picture of their stone god Val.
Okay. And the first question about that, Rob, is what medication given to Spock after being poisoned by thorns on Val's planet?
Don't know it. Got to go multiple choice on that.
Multi-choice is Masiform D, Improvalin, Cortrazin. No, it's actually Masiform D.
Wow. I missed that one. I would not have known that. There you go.
My
It's been weeks.
Finally come to fruition. Considering Star Trek quiz.
You know what? I do not know that. Yeah. I do not know that. I mean, like, it's not even in my mind. That's a question I do not know. That is truly, that's a good question. You got me on that one because I do not know the answer to that.
Who was known as the eyes of Val, if I say that name correctly?
Akuta.
Correct, Rob. Akuta. Correct. What was missing? Controlled by Val. What was missing from the society?
Violence? I mean, the ability to kill?
No.
Well, I guess I'd have to go multiple choice. I don't know how a lot was missing from the society. Sex?
Something that is combined, considering violence. But the multiple choice, Rob, is children, clothes, or weapons.
Well, there children, clothes, and weapons.
Children,
both. There are no weapons. There are no weapons in the society. They don't know what that is. And children, they get little ones, but they have to ask for them.
It is children is the correct answer, Rob.
Yeah, because there aren't any children there, but they still have to go figure it out. They have to ask Val how to get children.
Yeah. So,
that's what violence is missing too, and so are weapons. They don't have weapons, and they learn about weapons. That's a bad question.
You tiptoe around, but it was wrong. Because those are experts who put this together, Rob. How long could the followers of Val be expected to live in Val's controlled environment? How long could the followers of Val be expected to live?
Give me multiple choice.
100 years? 1,000? 10,000 years?
10,000 years. 10, no idea.
Correct. It's correct. 10,000.
Okay. All right. There you go.
10,000.
It's not a total loss. Even the greatest sports team loses now and again.
Yeah. Last one, Rob. What planet was controlled by computer god machine Val? What planet was controlled by computer god machine Val?
I know the answer to this. I gotta go multiple choice.
Gamma Trianguli 6, Gamma Hydra 4, Exo 3.
Gamma Hydra 4. See, I missed out too.
Gamma Trianguli 6.
Yeah. I knew. All right. See,
tough one here.
Yeah, okay. I missed that. That's fine. Legit. You got me there. It's been weeks, but hey. Smoked on the apple.
Experts, Rob. Not me, not myself. The experts got you. So, if there are no super chats left, Rob, I think we had a nice
no, Darth Plato says Italian is the language of love, Rob, because I think Darth Plato is actually Italian, so he would know this. I don't know. The Italians definitely. Italian is a language of love, but I think the French might take exception to that.
Could be.
Although, you know what? I'll tell you this. I think it's easier to fall in love with an Italian woman than it is a French woman.
I call Elizabeth later.
I'm just saying, only because when I was in college at Evergreen, there was some Italian exchange students. And let's just say one of them was very easy to fall in love with.
And on my say, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist...
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. And of course, I want to thank everybody for being here. I especially want to thank all the viewers that I hadn't met. Thomas Logan says that Vinegar Syndrome's The Keep is now $225 on Evil Bay. That's only if you pay it, and something tells me Vinegar Syndrome might announce that they're putting out more, unless they have a deal that can say they can only put that out. I mean, we'll see. I want to thank Tom Jr. Jackson and Justin Toner and Darth Plato and everyone else for being great moderators and everything, but everybody who generously supports this channel via super chats and tips. And once again, it really was great to meet a lot of people that I had never met face to face. That's kind of what I wanted to do. I mean, I see our not that I don't love the members, I love you guys, but we see each other all the time. And it was really fun to make this and meet people that I had never met and never talked to before.
And get some faces to names, Rob,
And, put faces to name and learn how to say Miele instead of I was saying Miele like the appliance company.
Yeah. Exactly, Rob.
And Miele, so now I know. Now I know the difference. So that was fantastic. So thank you guys. I very much appreciate that. And I will be putting up the interviews with David Mack and Diane Duane shortly. Nice. So there you go. That was another great. We're coming up to the end of the year. I mean, by the way, in 2 weeks, we have our epic show that's going to have George Feltenstein on it. Hopefully, if you can still do it, Bill Hunt is going to be on it. We're going to have Heath from Serial at Midnight. We're going to have Elliot Cohen. His collection. Elliot Cohen's going to be here, who I can't wait to talk to. I hope he says "Dear Viewer" on this show, because I want him to say it in the dulcet tones that he has. I always watch Elliot Cohen when I want the discourse to be elevated, and I feel smarter than I normally do. And we're also going to have Jeff from Films at Home. And
so you will get elevated, Rob, and I will go down even further.
No. It's all good. Maybe Lisa will join us too. Maybe the First Lady of Physical Media will join us.
But so we're balancing everything out, Rob.
Yeah, we do. And I mean, companies now, look at Kino Lorber. They release upscale, they have silent films, foreign films, but they also have Kino Cult. So they shoot high and go low, which we love. So they do that all the time.
And some blockbusters here and there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to thank both George Feltenstein and Warner Archive. I want to thank Kino Lorber. I want to thank all the other great companies that are doing all this great work. So there you go. Thank you very much. Yeah. And we'll see you next week. Or be seeing you, as number 6 says. And we'll see you later. And we are out.